Green flag back in the air. Brendan Maddox, Adam Buzzio, the whole field chomping at the bit. Green flag back in the air at Talladega. The Lucky Performance Overtime rules reminding you that if we get back around to the white flag, this race is official. Buzzio with a push from Dyer. Maddox with a push from Hughes. Zach, I think we're going to get there.
I think we will. Coming back around, Buzzio leads the group. Through the tri-oval we go. No caution. Sam Dyer looks to the outside. Through wide for the race lead. White flag is in the air, presented by Whiplash Sim Cams. Sam Dyer is all by himself on the top line, Andrew. There is nothing that he can do. He's going to start dropping back, and Brendan Maddox is out in front by himself. I do not want to have a gap that big.
We'll see how this one works out. Maddox moves up, now moves down. That checks up the bottom side. Here comes Buzzio. Here comes Camper. Here comes Plord, all on the top side of the racetrack. Maddox now going to try and fight back on the bottom with a push from Buzzio's teammate. That's Hughes down low, and Hughes isn't pushing the lead. Now he gets there from a push from Mason Houseman to the stripe. It's going to be a drag race. Adam Buzzio, Dakota Camper. He's going to look down to the inside, and Camper is going to shove alongside of the 5. Dakota Camper, maybe, no, Buzzio's got to win this season.
Oh my goodness, what a finish.
For the first time with the BRB Racing League, this is the first race of the season, but not the first broadcast. Welcome to the Rev Sim Shop 250, the first points race of Season 6. It's a tale as old as stock car racing itself, a trip to Daytona Beach to kick off a new season of racing with a bunch of new faces and a handful of new places. Welcome to Pit Stop TV in the virtual Daytona Beach, Florida. I'm Andrew Cardone IV with, well, Super will be alongside here shortly, and it's a pleasure to join you for coverage of the BRB Sundance Pro Series. Tonight's coverage from Daytona for the Rev Sim Shop 250 is brought to you by Sundance Pizza, by MX Wraps, and by the BRB Racing League and a bunch of other series partners. And look at that for timing. Super literally just walked through the virtual broadcast booth door. Well, we have got cars on track already for practice here. Super, a new season is upon us. Here we are, Daytona International Speedway. As I said, a tale as old as time. Stock cars heading to Daytona to kick off the season. It's a pilgrimage that must be made at least once a season. And here we are, kicking off a new season of points racing tonight.
It's absolutely beautiful, and especially after last season with the insane championship finale. It just speaks wonders of what this league can produce. It's got to start somewhere, and that's here.
And we're going to start by talking to one of our drivers that is just about the best on the circuit as far as super speedways go. So we'll get to schedule and some other stuff here shortly, but Stephen Borbell, right before we head into drivers meeting this evening, we got to talk to this guy, the driver of the number 2. Stephen, I did some stat crunching earlier, and I did it even last week before we did the duels. You are the best on super speedways in this league, and we talked about that at a bit of length last week in the duels and the little shootout and whatnot, but I looked over some stats. You have the 11th best average finish of all drivers with multiple starts on super speedways, but you have over a quarter of your laps completed out front of the field. 249 laps led. That's 26% of laps you've completed on super speedways. You've got to feel at least somewhat confident, especially on top of the speed charts currently.
Dang, Andrew, you're really going to make me blush like this 15 minutes before the race. Not if the butterflies weren't there, they're definitely there now. But I mean, I like super speedway racing to a certain point. As long as I can stay out of the mess early on, and midway through the race, I like my chances. And last night I think showed it as well with the practice race. I know we only had 10 guys there, but it was a good race to the finish, and I'm hoping to just basically recreate that and also what we saw last week. Maybe if everyone wrecks again and I get through somehow, I'll take it either way.
Yeah, so you got 5th last season. As was previously mentioned, you're going into this looking really good. What do you see for the season finale? Like, where do you see yourself finishing?
Oh man, that's a really difficult question. I can see myself anywhere from 1st to 12th, to be completely honest. I know we added a lot of very talented drivers in Dark Star and in various other teams, and we already have Maverick and Next Level as top teams here. Obviously, not to leave out Whiplash Racing in there as well. They have very good drivers as well that can compete for the championship. So, I mean, I feel like I say that every season that we have a handful of guys that really can compete for the championship. I feel like that widened out even more so this season. Realistically, I'm looking at 8 different guys that will battle for it, and one of them will end up winning it most likely, and the other will end up 8th and feel like they didn't do much of anything. But that's just how competitive it's going to be this season.
I know the pre-race festivities and whatnot as an admin are about to get going for you, drivers meeting and such, but in this last couple of 30 seconds, I guess, it's got to feel a bit like a throwback, right? Ronnie Norman, he's the other driver we're talking to in this pre-race show, for example. He's back since season 1. You know, it's been a while, and the one race he has on super speedways in BRB, he won that race. So does that kind of feel like maybe the default of who you're up against, and again, kind of bring back some of those season 1 vibes?
If you're talking tonight, I mean, obviously Ronnie's up there. He's going to be there all season. But I mean, tonight I'm also looking at Dustin. I don't know if he's won twice at Daytona. I think it was back-to-back, if I'm not mistaken. He's always up there. Richard, Scott Fritz, Johnny Wood Jr., Brendan Maddox. I mean, the list goes on and on for guys to compete with tonight. So it's going to be a good show, I think.
Well, we'll let you get to your admin duties and get this the race off the ground. You Adam, and everybody else. Here we are. The jitters are finally getting out. Even for me, it's time to go racing.
I appreciate it, guys.
That's Stephen Borbell, driver of number 2. Boy, it's good to talk to him and everybody else that we'll get to talk to this evening. Of course, we'll talk to our Stage 1 winner in a little while, whoever that might be. We will talk to Ronnie Norman here shortly. He's our other driver to talk to this evening, Super, but we'll let these guys do their drivers meeting and get that done and not pull Ronnie away from that. So in the meantime, we can look at some of the graphics and stuff that we have to talk about. And I mean, there's a lot. We already looked at the track map, so let's go straight into the schedule here. This is the schedule to go back over it, and like we did last week for the duels. Here we go. A lot of great racetracks. I'm particularly excited for Dover in New Hampshire. It seems like BRB kind of rolls from Daytona right into a pretty skill-requiring racetrack. The last couple of seasons, Nashville has been early in the schedule. Now we're going to Dover, then New Hampshire. Yes, it can be hectic and it can be a little messy, but it's going to make these guys, from the get-go, mind their P's and Q's or else.
Yeah, what I'm really excited for is the Sonoma to Talladega in the playoffs, especially with Bristol ahead. Those are 3 completely different tracks, and to kick off the chase is, it's just going to be absolute chaos for some of these drivers to try to get their foot in.
Every race is unique. I'd say the only 2 that maybe aren't are Daytona and Talladega, races 1 and 16. But that's normal. That's the formula here in the series. You could argue maybe Michigan and California are a little similar as well, and yeah, they will be. But Michigan and California each have their differences as well. But you see the Daytona road course slotted in there, so an extra road course this season. We will be going into kind of that summer format we did last year. Not every detail is finalized, so I'm not even trying to get to that yet, but keep an eye out for news on those races from Rockingham through Sonoma. But Super, I mean, a lot of great racetracks, and a lot of first-time racetracks as well. Mexico City and Dover and New Hampshire haven't been on the schedule in a long time. I think New Hampshire has. Dover might not have ever been on the schedule before, but Mexico City is new. Daytona Road Course is new. Indianapolis is the first time since season 2 that we'll be going, or no, season 4 actually, we'll be going there. Iowa has been on recently. Rockingham wasn't on the season 5 schedule. Martinsville, I think it's been since season 2 there. Motegi, I believe, is a brand new racetrack. Sonoma is a brand new racetrack, and we're going to Old Atlanta at race 17, Legacy Atlanta. So we're mixing things up big time this season and trying a few new things, and I always am a proponent of that. Well, it seems like no drivers have not been released just yet. I heard a couple of engines revving. I thought maybe these guys were free to go again, but it looks like that's not the case. You know what we can do? Next up on our list here, Super, power rankings. We're getting to these a little bit earlier because we have some stuff that ties into this. Here are those power rankings. They've not changed from last week. Last week was non-points. We didn't even count it into the formula. The power rankings stay the same. Here they are. Zach Hall still on top, but hey, guess what? After winning the Season 5 championship, he is part-time this season. We don't know exactly when we will or will not see him. He is not here tonight from what I've seen, so not in the season opener. That's okay. We've got, again, still a bunch of really good guys to kind of fill that gap. You know, Adam Buzzio then kind of becomes the default power rankings leader. Brendan Maddox there as well. Scott Fritz, Johnny Wood Jr. all towards the top. But it's really tight there from Johnny Wood Jr. down through Evan Patinko. It is super congested.
And I mean, yeah, that was kind of just a story of the entire season last time, right? You have those guys up on top, and then everything else is just absolute chaos. I would not be surprised if the entire power rankings, not a single person stays steady by the next race, maybe even like 2 races.
No, this graphic will definitely change a lot to get this season started, of course, as it always does. You know, the first couple of races of a season, typically we don't even use a power rankings graphic, but since this is kind of rolling over with a lot of the same drivers from 5 to 6, we'll keep it and keep on moving. But yeah, it's going to be a very chaotic few weeks to get this season started, and there will be a lot of moving around, that is for sure. The next order of business. You might have heard me say there, Super, that we have something to tie into the power rankings. You might be wondering what that is. Well, I'm going to redirect. There's going to be a segue, and I promise. We want to thank our partners here with the series, of course, Sundance Pizza, MX Wraps, Performance Food Group, RevSimShop.com, Whiplash SimCam, CC's Business, all fantastic partners here of the series. Also, our partners here at the channel, and this is a new graphic, and I'll tell you why in a second, Whiplash Simcams, MXWraps.com, ATVO, Murtis Esports, CC's Business, North American Racing League, and Whiplash Creative now on this list. Why is this important? Well, Whiplash Creative is a new name, a new logo even to this graphic, and Whiplash Creative is partnering up with the BRB Racing League to start a fantasy game. Yes, that's right, fantasy sim racing in this case, around the BRB Sim Racing League, and I'm excited to do this. Here we go. The info is there on your screen. Now, this is a snippet of kind of the info, really. There's a lot more in the Pit Stop TV Discord server, but this includes that link. You have 8 minutes. 8 minutes to go join the Discord server with this link. It's also in the YouTube chat. 8 minutes to go join the Discord server and join the fantasy game. Let me tell you how it works. You pick 3 drivers, all separated into different groups by owner, well, not owners points, it's just driver points in this case. It's owners points in our NASCAR league. Anyways, by points. And that's, of course, going back to Season 5 points. So a lot of the new drivers, they're all stacked up down low. And it'll be that way for the first 3 rounds. So easily you can get some big points here to start the season by picking some of those guys that are new, but in the bottom of the standings. After those first 3 rounds, they will reset to the current driver standings within the league, and then you'll pick from groups based on that. So it'll be the top 8 in Group 1, the next 8, so 9th through 16th in Group 2, and then from 17th on to the end of the field, all in Group 3. You pick 1 driver from each group, then you pick the stage winner and the race winner. You earn the same points they earn. The stage and race winners are for bonus points, and we've got prizes. We've got $5 off your next iRacing wrap with MX Wraps at mx-wraps.com. That can compound as well. So that could be a 20 bucks off of a wrap. That could be a whole free wrap even, and then some. So MX Wraps is putting up some prizes. That will be for anybody who gets an overall win. Okay? The overall win each week. So there's 18 of those. Obviously, somebody has to win each week, right? So there's that, and then also the overall winner of the season. Super, this is what's new. The overall winner of the season gets a prize from TZO Designs. And what TZO Designs does, if you're new to TZO Designs, is 3D prints die-cast, not shelves, but display kind of shelves. They look like a racetrack. They've got a catch fence, a wall, the asphalt, everything, and you can mount it on your wall, and it holds up to 2 die-casts for 1/24th scale. Anthony Teseo is working on 1/64th scale stands as well. This is all really cool. If you're into die-casts, if you're into iRacing paints, easy way to possibly get some free stuff. You just got to play. It's free to play. Absolutely free to play. You just join, pick your drivers. There's still 6 minutes to go do it. So if you're watching on YouTube and you have not done it, you need to go follow that Discord server link. I'll send it again. And you've got to join the Pit Stop TV Discord and join the game. So there's channels in that Discord. You're going to scroll down a little bit to Whiplash-BRB under the Fantasy Games category. You'll then follow the directions that are in that chat. Super, you've done it. I'm excited for this. This is the first time we're doing something like this for an iRacing league.
It's a great idea too. I don't know why we didn't do this sooner. I love fantasy. I do fantasy on my own time, and it's just an amazing opportunity. And if anyone is interested in the prizes you mentioned, it's just so much fun to do. You have to do it. It's just so much fun.
At the very least, you just have some fun. I mean, it's free. You get to kind of see how you match up over the course of the season. There will be a couple of drop weeks to keep everybody competitive, but more details on that coming soon. Let's go ahead and get to the other driver we want to talk to this evening, though, and that is going to be Ronnie Norman. The drivers meeting has let out finally, which means Ronnie is available to talk to you, and driver 17 comes in here with some stats to back him up. And Ronnie, looking back at your stint in Season 1, you ran 1 super speedway race and you won it. So your average finish on super speedways is 1.0. That's gotta feel pretty nice. I know obviously it's super speedway, it's still a bit of a lottery, but at least knowing you have that history here in the series has gotta feel like an extra little boost, I suppose.
Yeah, I feel like the 1-for-1 is definitely something that's nice, but I feel like it probably happened the same way I won duel number 1 last Tuesday as well. So I'm usually not one to run up front here during the race. I'm usually a back marker until the end of the race and let all the hopefully stay out of the big one. So I don't know. It may change today, knowing I got a lot more teammates in here than I did the last time I ran here with these guys. So it might change the mindset a little bit.
Yeah, so I just have to know what's going through your head right now. Hopefully you can repeat, get another win. Like, I just have to know what you're thinking.
Well, what I'm thinking right now is hopefully the beginning of this race is not crazy, because if you watch the duels, the little fun race we did after the duels, I mean, it was intense. Like, we were just going for it, seeing what these cars could do, and it was absolutely insane. And when we first started, I told Kevin, my teammate, I said, well, we're probably gonna lead most of this duel race, or this fun race here. And as soon as we took off, we weren't even in the lead after the first lap. So the outside got hooked up and took off, and these cars were pushing, and it was just all-out brawl. So I'm sure everybody's going to settle down for the beginning of this one, hopefully, because I mean, this one here is a way longer race. This one's for points. This one's for all the marbles. So I think this one's going to be a little bit more relaxed than that race we've seen last week. So hopefully we stay green and stay clean and get some stage points, and then, like I said, hopefully be able to turn around and go 2 for 2.
Speaking of those teammates, Ronnie, you guys have pretty much all come over from the Nora Retro series we cover on Mondays, and I love covering that series. Now it's like deja vu almost. We're saying your names twice a week here, and we're bringing a bunch of guys over from that series. Even though at Whiplash Racing, we've got Brady Motes coming over, Josh Conover coming over. Now you guys, Dark Star Garage, are all drivers from that series. Kevin Baumler that we're looking at now, Cody Smith in the number 1. There we go. There's the number 1. You in the 17, and Jay Christenberry in the 11. So you guys have some rapport. You know each other. How big is that to not only have teammates but know each other really, really well already?
Oh, it's amazing to be able to have that, as well, just to be able to have the alliance that we do with the other team that we're with. So yeah, no, it just makes going into these super speedway races where you need teammates a little bit less stressful. You got a great group of guys that that run great on Tuesdays, and they're coming over here that they should be able to do the same thing. So definitely having that feeling of, hey, like, we'll be okay if we need to go to the front. We know we can hook up. We know we got people there. It's just usually sometimes you get into these new leagues and you don't have friends like that, so you got to try to find some to work with. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a great group of guys. That's why we want to come over here. We enjoy racing, and we enjoy putting on great shows for Pit Stop TV and the whole crew. And so we're just going to come over here and see what we can show out with these guys, and hopefully put on some great runs.
And looking through the new fantasy game that we started, not only have drivers picked you, or people picked you for their Daytona teams, but also a handful of people choosing you to win the championship. Does that add any pressure at all?
Definitely wasn't expected. I know I was scrolling through there earlier today, and I seen some of them, and I was, it's one of those. I like to say I'm decently good. I'm not out there. I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna pick myself or say, just because you need a lot of luck along with a lot of skill. So not only do you need to be able to put the car at the right place for the right time, but I mean, caution's got to fall at the right time for you as well. So anything is possible, especially with the road courses that we have on this season. They're gonna play a great part in the way the points go. So with a lot of new people in here, you don't know who kind of the road course ringers are, or who knows how to turn left and right until you get there. So no, I mean, I appreciate the picks, but it's also, I wouldn't really say it's any pressure. It's just one of those to where, maybe 5 races into the season and I might be in the points lead. They'll be like, oh, well, we expected this, but I mean, we got to get there first. So it definitely takes a lot of hard work.
Hey, it's good to talk to you, Ronnie. Congratulations on the dual win. You're starting towards the front. Hey, hopefully we'll talk to you later.
Yeah, it's going to be great having the NOS 17 on the front row to start this race, take the green flag for the season. So hopefully we can keep her clean all race, and talk to you guys here after the race in Victory Lane.
Best of luck. That's driver of the 17, Ronnie Norman. He'll be racing for Dark Star Garage this season, aligned with Whiplash Racing. All of those drivers, there's 8 of them, all together talking with each other this evening, trying to figure out how one of them can go to Victory Lane. And, I went through those picks a moment ago, actually, and one of the drivers, actually, in this series, who picked Ronnie to win the championship, there's 3 of them. Josh Conover, Sam Dyer, and Steven Borbell, the guy we were just talking to. So Steven even thinks Ronnie can win this championship, so that's a little bit of pressure. But it's that time to get into, well, we've gone through pretty much everything except for Best in Show. We don't have qualifying, of course, this evening. Qualifying was last week. So super. We've been looking around the track a little bit. We haven't looked at too many paint schemes, and we'll have to take a moment here on the pace laps to do so. But paint schemes so far that you like? Have you seen any?
I have noticed that I'm blanking on the driver's name. Who's the 88? Blanking on it.
That was Dakota Bly. Let's see these guys grid up in a second. This is going to be a unique situation, a little bit different from what we typically see because, again, qualifying was last week. Picks also just closed in the fantasy game, by the way, at 8:59 p.m., but we are ending a warm-up session now and going straight into the race session. Well, it is taking a moment to actually roll over, and I'm getting a little bit worried, just because I have seen iRacing get a little funky before. It's not taking us into the race session yet. That would be why I just throughputed out of the session. That is something. Okay. Bear with us. That was not expected, but I'm not even sure what to do here. We don't have a Zach Murtis to go radio style, so bear with me for a moment to get back in the sim. So I guess, Super, if we go back and look at then... Let me think on this. Let's talk about the car specs. We can do that. That's a good default. When life throws you lemons, here we go. We'll make some lemonade out of it. The ARCA Menard Series cars, new graphic for this season. It goes through all the details, not just the car versus the Cup car that we had for seasons 1 through 4. This is now looking at the ARCA Menard Series car itself. Here we go. 700 horsepower, the 6.5-liter V8 engine that Ilmor provides to all these teams, and obviously there's no difference in the virtual cars from one to the next, but in the real ARCA series, we see a wide difference from the front of the field to the back of the field in terms of how good that car is truly built and set up to go racing. Now, if you watch the ARCA East race at Hickory or at Rockingham the past couple of weeks, that was very evident.
Yeah, it all really just comes down to who's most in tune with their car. Thankfully, right, this isn't real life, so we have balanced cars, and I could not be more grateful for that fact. It makes the racing so much better to watch. And, you know, don't get me wrong, real life ARCA, still great. Have a great time watching those, but it's much more fun with these virtual cars.
That it is, and we are loading back into the iRacing session, so bear with us there. I can at least work through the race lineup, at least as they were after the duels, at least as things got set up that way. So Ronnie Norman, of course, won his first duel. We talked about that a little bit ago, and of course saw that last week. Richard Woltzifer winning the other duels. They will be on the front row. Norman in the 17, Woltzifer in the 56. Kevin Baumler will line up in third. Scott Fritz from fourth. Then it's going to be Cody Dorsey and Adam Buzzio in row 3. Row 4 gives us Josh Conover and Carl Pooler. Then Zach Maddox and Brendan Maddox in the very same row here to start this season off. They will start tonight's race from row number 5. Moving on down the list, Stephen Borbell, Dakota Bly in row 6, then Sam Dyer, Robert Moyer Jr. To complete your top 14. Those are a couple of teammates there. Cody Smith and William Maple Jr., a couple of Ford drivers in row number 8. Moving on down the line a little bit farther, Caden Perkins and Jamie Plord. Perkins over to a new team. He's now racing with Level Up Motorsports, teammates with Dakota Bly, Evan Batinko, and William Maple Jr. Back in row number 10, it's Jordan White and Brady Motes. Brady Motes, a new addition. He, of course, racing for Whiplash Racing. Jake Christenberry joins the field this season, racing for Dark Star Garage. Jacob Quayle over for Spirit Racing. Coulter Clark flips over to Blackbird Motorsports in the number 4. Dustin Stalling starts over his right shoulder. Cameron Taylor and Evan Batinko in row 13. Taylor is a new addition as well, and Batinko switched teams. Then it's Clank, Wood, Kinney, Parent, Walker, and Jensen, the rest of the field. We're back in the iRacing sim, so give me just a moment to properly get this set up. And here we go. Cars on the racetrack. I believe we've got just enough time here. ATVO is being a little tricky. Stand by. There we go. We're getting control back. Everything reloading, of course, getting back into the sim. I believe we've got a moment to go over the grid here on the bottom of the screen, and I really want to hit this. Here we go. Ronnie Norman on pole, yes, alongside Richard Wolsifer. We'll let this go by a little bit faster, but we wanted to at least take a look at it. There's Kevin Baumler, Scott Fritz, and on down through the line. While these cycle through here, Super, we can go ahead and take a look at the Whiplash SimCam's race details. Bottom right of your screen, this is a 100-lap race, 250 miles in distance. The first stage will be complete at the end of lap number 30, then we'll have 70 to the end, followed up with 4 change sets, 70% of fuel in the cars, fixed setup racing tonight, of course, 3 green-white checkers if we need them, and no fast fix. It's the usual formula, but man, it's going to be a lot of fun here tonight.
Yeah, and I think the real question is, right, it's probably, going to be the same as it is normally at Daytona. Who can save for that final push? Right, it's all going to come down to that final stage, that final push. Who can be the one to come out on top? Who can manage their tires and just prepare for the right time to go?
It's a good question. So as these guys cycle through on the grid graphic on the bottom of your screen, let's take a look through some of the paint schemes here this evening, Super, like we were going to do for the MX Wraps Best in Show vote. The grid will keep on cycling through, but we can take a look at these guys. There is Ronnie Norman in the number 17, Richard Wolsifer on his outside, Kevin Baumler in that number 10, the Harpoon Design Ford Mustang. I know you mentioned the 88, we're getting there here shortly. There's the 48 in his typical Daytona colors. Let's actually pull up this graphic so we can actually see who we're looking at. There's Scott Fritz, Cody Dorsey, same kind of paint scheme as we saw last season. I do like this 5 for Adam Buzzio. Very nice touch with his new job. And some of the partners there. Josh Conover in one of the honorary paint schemes honoring my late great uncle Ed Nielsen. His name is on the hood there. And these are paint schemes modeled after the Boston Shaker drag car from decades ago. So we'll see those paint schemes on the number 40, the 41, the 43, and the 44. And I actually want to cut to one of them because, Super, I am partial. I painted these, sure, but I am partial to this 43 of Rusty Rafferty. I'm putting this on the Best in Show vote.
That's completely fair. I'll be honest, I love all the 43 schemes. I think this one has to be the best 43 scheme I've seen in a long time.
Looking through, I'll keep cycling through. Who else you got? There's Eric Jensen, Gray Walker. I mean, that's an easy one, right?
Come on, it's the Kyle Busch 18. Come on.
So we'll get the 43 of Rusty Rafferty on here. I'll tell you what, we will take a step back from the Best in Show vote. We'll come right back to it. We'll extend it however many laps late we are to it with the reconnection, everything. We'll add those laps onto it and extend it beyond stage 1. But it's time to go. Super, we're here. Daytona has finally come. We are ready for 100 laps of racing, 250 miles in the Sunshine State. The RevSimShop.com 250 is green from Daytona. BRB Season 6 is underway. Already a lead for the top side down the Daytona Super Stretch. Richard Wolsifer with the advantage up top. He's got a whole bunch of cars pushing him, namely his new teammate, Scott Fritz in that number 48.
Already building their chemistry very well, but you can't count out that bottom lane. As you see, they're trying to mount a little push. The outside lane is typically the better lane that you'll see throughout the most of this race, but at least through the beginning, you're going to see a lot of guys try to make that bottom lane work.
1 lap complete. Wolsifer and Fritz drop down. There the field goes to turn number 1. I just love this sound. Getting the season started the right way here at Daytona. Oh, it feels so good.
I mean, who doesn't love that sound? Any real racing fan loves that sound.
We'll follow the field around from the statics here for lap number 2. And already we're seeing some of the cream of the crop rise to the front of the field. Of course, Richard Wolsifer leading so far for laps 1 and 2. But Adam Buzzio charging on his outside. Carl Pooler, Brendan Maddox all moving forward. And we're starting to already see some separation, guys laying back, the top side dissolving a bit as Buzzio takes over here on lap 3.
It's a little surprising to see that, right? Because, you know, he made all those moves on the outside, but immediately shoots right down to the inside. It's really an interesting dilemma of if you want to go on the outside or inside.
Bit of moving around, thankfully 2 wide through just about the entire field. A little bit of single file, otherwise 2 wide, no 3 wide right now. We don't want to see that. It's too early for that, right? 100 laps, you've got to stay in line. Just kind of mind your P's and Q's right now as we talk about just get through the race. Even stage 1, yes, there's points up for grabs, but you can't get those points unless you survive to be able to fight for them.
Ah, you're thinking about it. You're thinking about it too much. All you got to do is just press on the gas and go.
We do have a problem back here for Cameron Taylor. As you can see, he does not see anybody. He's on his own right now, unsure what happened. Seems like he may have started from the pit lane in the 42 car. So Cameron Taylor, by the way, this is easily, weekly going to be a candidate for Best in Show. It is a great looking Alaskan Brewing Company number 42. But unfortunately, well off the pace back here on his own in 35th.
Feel like you're trying to tell me something.
Possibly. Do you want to nominate that 18 car?
We'll save it. We'll save it for next week.
Might not be running it next week, but there is Gray Walker back in the 31st spot here so far. He's got some teammates around him. Actually, kind of an affiliated car in Josh Parent right on his back bumper. They're not teammates, but Josh Parent has moved over to Toyota and donned some new colors still in that same number 22. So that's a car worth looking at. Ben Kinney as well in the 41. There he is, the metallic green, of course, for the Boston Shaker on his car. Dustin Stallings up ahead. He's got the Girl Dad colors out, and we nominated it last week, so I don't want to go straight to it, but it's easy to look at that car and really like what Coulter Clark has going on.
Yeah, Jourdain White, you know, I am a little biased towards Jourdain. I won't be putting him in here this time, but you got to admit, the gold does look pretty.
That it does. We also have Jacob Quayle up here in the Wounded Warriors Foundation number 25 car for Spirit Racing. Jake Christenberry, it says Robert, but Jake Christenberry in the number 11. The Jordan colors on it. Evan Patinko, of course, in the number 81. He's got some new colors. Whirlpool now on that number 81 Ford Mustang. Moving up, Caden Perkins, also always a contender in that Storm Seeker number 6. Seen anybody you like so far? Who do you want to nominate for another shot here?
You know what, you did sway me. I might have to nominate that 18 car. You're a very, very persuasive guy.
I try. Well, I will get my second nomination in. So I got the 23, of course. I painted it. I'm partial to it. All of that. It has some connections and whatnot. Uh-oh. Don't tell me. What's going on here? Why are we losing packets? Okay, we're back. Everybody breathe. I'm going to go ahead. Now that we're back, I'm going to go ahead. I will go for the 6. The Storm Seeker number 6 looks good this season. Caden has done a lot of work to it. I got to recognize greatness here.
Yeah, and I was thinking the entire time that it is a beautiful car. The moment you showed it to me, I was thinking that if you don't nominate it, I'm going to. I mean, it's just a beautiful splash of color, right? And it's pretty hard to not see on the track.
Well, fighting the brief connection interruption, somebody paged Spectrum, but is there anybody else that you've seen out there, or do you want me to go for your other, or do we want to fan source it? How do we want to do this final nomination for Best in Show?
I like the fan idea. Let's get them involved, you know?
All right, I will give these guys, then tell you what, till lap 15, then we'll do the vote till lap 50. So those of you watching over on YouTube, this is where you get to make your voice heard. We'll quickly page through the entire field. You're going to get an option now. Every car out there, aside from the 43, the 18, and the 6, you guys get to nominate one. There is Richard Wolstifer in the Stintz-built colors. Look at his Chevrolet. Carl Pooler on the outside, purple and green. Looks nice in that 71. He's always got unique paint schemes on his Toyota Camry. Scott Fritz. Well, actually, there's Brendan Maddox first in the 23 car. Castle Smart Alarm on his Toyota Camry. Also, Scott Fritz back there on the 48. always has some good-looking Jimmy Johnson throwbacks that he brings out on occasion. This is one of the Daytona throwbacks for him. Zach Maddox on his outside in the American Airlines number 14. Ronnie Norman, Johnny Wood Jr., Kevin Baumler. You're looking at some of these paint schemes. Eric Jensen's back this season. There's Kevin Baumler in the 10. That's a good one from Harpoon Designers. There's a problem, actually. Carl Puller in trouble. He was just out front leading the race momentarily. What has happened to the 71?
Oh, multiple. Who's that in the background?
Jacob Quayle involved. Jake Christenberry was that other car back there in trouble in the number 11. Christenberry was nowhere near Pooler at first. Pooler was out front. There he is, leading. Oh my goodness, what has happened here? Down through the apron. And he comes up and, oh my goodness, right into Cody Smith, Dakota Bly, Evan Batsinko. Oh my gosh.
Just nothing any of those guys could do.
So let's get a look at, I mean, how did this even happen? So, maybe an errant push. Oh, Brendan Maddox's teammate was trying to get that inside draft and ended up hooking the right rear of the 71, and then he couldn't get the car slowed down, comes back on the banking. That's a mess.
That's Daytona.
So here's the right rear view from Carl Buller. See Maddox just make a little bit of contact. He's trying to save the car. In car here, he's trying to roll it down and just couldn't. Unfortunate.
Yeah, such a great car too, this early in the race.
I'm not seeing any fan nominations yet. You'll have until lap 15 or I'll pick for you. Here's another look, though, for Carl Puller down on the apron. Comes up, grabs Cody Smith in the pit stop TV1, Dakota Bly in the Bill Murray 88. And it just got worse from there. Evan Pazinko, unfortunately, involved in this one early in season number 6. He saw the car down low, was trying to kind of figure out where he should go, and just couldn't figure out which way he needed to go. Ends up initially tearing the bumper off that car. I think he's going to be okay here, Super, but that's scary when that happens.
Yeah, but now, here's the real question. Do you think that these guys are going to be more aggressive, or are they going to be like, all right, we got to stay in this race?
Good question. Here's a look from Cody Smith. Blindsided. He had no clue what was even happening. Contact there, really damaging the number 1. That's going to be a long day for him now. Minding his own business, had no clue what was happening. Big left side contact, and the left rear actually is junk on that car. Be able to see it here from the pit lane cameras. The left rear is completely junk.
Also, I have noticed we did finally get our first fan nomination, the 99.
We'll get a few more here, so let's take a look at the 83 here, Jordan White. He's just trying to get through all this, just the same as anybody else. That's a big Murtis mega miss if I ever seen one.
He's gonna need a new fire suit, oh my. And see, that's what you have to do, right? You just have to make those split-second decisions, and you just have to hope and pray that the car wrecking ahead of you is not gonna be there.
It's fair. Back to some live picture here under caution. Nobody, actually everybody pitting. Literally everybody pitting aside from the cars that are damaged because they were already on the pit lane. So everybody pitting under this caution. Let's roll back through some of these guys for best in show then here, Super. So Richard Wolfsford, we've already kind of gone through a lot of these guys. Ronnie Norman, if you didn't get a good look at his NOS Energy 17. How about Johnny Wood Jr. in the 75? Cody Dorsey in the 9. Adam Buzzio. I really like this 5 car. If I have to pick, I might pick him. There's the 99 of Eric Jensen. Brady Motes in the 44. It's another one from us at Whiplash Racing. Kyle Klenk in the 31. He's got a new look on that car, and, well, it's very clear what it is. It's a race car. Jamie Plord in some blue and lime green colors. I like that. That's different. William Maple Jr. with the Wood Brothers throwback as always. Rusty Rafferty out there. Already nominated him, but there is his number 43 if you missed it. Stephen Borbell, the number 2. This is a good-looking one, too. This is bold, but simple in a good way. This is a really good-looking paint scheme. Evan Patinko out there. Also a good-looking one in the number 81. Also on the simpler side in a good way. Dustin Stallings out there in the 00. We saw, of course, Coulter Clark and Gray Walker. Here's Cole Lewis in his typical Tito's number 52. Ben Kinney in the 41 on his outside. No, that's Cole Lewis. There's Don. I mess up his vowels in his name every time for some reason. Dan Stockhair on the 27. There we go. Josh Conover out there on the 40. You see the 25 to his outside. We'll give you a little longer. We have a pick or two out there. Here's Cameron Taylor again in the 42. I mean, that would be an easy pick, too, if anybody's out there watching. I mean, that is literally a beautiful paint scheme. I mean, that's some beautiful scenery, the northern lights and everything. That's a good-looking one. Bill Murray on the outside with Dakota Bly in the 88. That's one of the more fun ones. So good look at some other paint schemes throughout the field here. We'll get that nomination finalized on lap 15, but there you go. There's your race leader coming around to get this race restarted. Super. These guys taking this pit stop, by the way, just about, I believe, gets them in range to go to the end without having to make another pit stop. Let's see. Green flag on the way. 18 to go in stage 1. Green flag is back out at Daytona International Speedway. Here we go, moves already. Brendan Maddox on the outside. He's going to take it around Scott Fritz, trying to get help. Baumler's going to lend a hand, it looks like, in the 10 car. He's going to get to the back bumper of that 23. Here comes Ronnie Norman, Zach Maddox, and so many more on the outside. A lot of momentum up there.
A huge, huge run for that outside lane. As we see, Brendan Maddox, I think, can't really tell from right now, but I do believe it looked like he got shuffled out there. Now he's going to go to the bottom.
Maddox able to get the lead across the line, but immediately Kevin Baumler gets the shove from Ronnie Norman, and Baumler takes over into turn 1. And now begins that ebb and flow of pushing on these speedways. The bottom line goes, the top line goes, it depends. The bottom line has the advantage in the corners, Super, but off the corner, once you hit the straightaway, that top line gets rolling.
Yeah, honestly, I think if the inside wants anything here, they have to push hard in that corner, and then the moment they get on that straightaway, they gotta block high. Other than that, the outside lane, if they can't do that, the outside lane's gone. There's nothing that inside can do.
For the end of this lap, I will nominate, well, not nominate, I will put in the nomination for the final paint scheme for Best in Show here today. So stand by on that. And that will run through the end of lap 50. That, of course, brought to you by MX Wraps here this season for every race in the BRB Racing League. Out front, Kevin Baumler. You see Ronnie Norman actually backing off a little bit through turns 3 and 4. A big run now for the Maddox brothers down low. Zach Maddox, Brendan Maddox, they have the run to the line, and Zach Maddox is going to lead at the start-finish line on lap 15.
Brother and brother, tell you what, that's some great chemistry there. Inside, finally beginning to claw back. They were about 2 cars behind, but now they're about 2 cars ahead. So, like you said, it's that ebb and flow, right? Who can hold on? It's really just if you're feeling lucky. Like, right, who's going to win?
That Best in Show vote has now been published over on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, this is your call to go join over there for just a moment at least and place your vote. Your options again, let's go through them. One of them is that 99 car of Eric Jensen in the 99 Chevrolet SS for Synergy Racing Group. That was the fan nomination. We also put up the 18 of Gray Walker. There he is in the Easter M&Ms, number 18. I've tried those M&Ms. They are fantastic. I really do enjoy them. Something about them. It's a very, very pleasant M&M. We also, of course, have the 6 of Caden Perkins in his Storm Seeker Ford Mustang, as he has moved over to Level Up Motorsports. And we have the 43 of Rusty Rafferty, racing for Whiplash Racing now in the Boston Shaker in loving memory of Ed Nielsen, who passed away earlier this year. Let's look at the 4 paint schemes up for vote here today. Out front, it is all Zach Maddox right now. We're nearing 10 laps to go in stage 1. And now is kind of when the competition side can begin. Admittedly, the opening portion of this broadcast, Super, it's all been pre-race, all going through the motions, the best in show vote, all of that. But now, competition-wise, these guys, they're fighting for everything they can get here. They're starting to think about how they're going to set up for a run to the end of the stage. And if they're good on fuel, they don't have to worry about that bottom lane. If anybody is still close on fuel, they might be laying back, trying to save fuel, or even getting in that bottom lane in, I guess, anticipation of a pit stop. But there's still a while to go in this stage, plenty long enough for a caution.
I'm really excited for it in stage 1. It is, stage 1, like, it's gonna give us a little sneak peek of what we're gonna see for the race, for the race end. I think that, right, we're gonna tell how aggressive these drivers are and what they're willing to do, even just for a stage win.
On board with Ben Kinney, he's a new addition not only to the series but now to Whiplash Racing. Problems ahead with his teammate Rusty Rafferty jumping out of the gas. That was a big moment. I'm not sure what just happened, but all 4 of my green Ford Mustangs are in one spot here, and that is raising my blood pressure.
You're like a father watching kids sports.
Yeah, just a bit. This is scary, watching all 4 of them in a line, but, that's the teamwork part of things, and that's what I was talking about with these guys earlier, actually, is, maybe get in the line, try to find your way forward, but it's scary. Any one thing going wrong, and this is for any of the teams in the series, any one thing going wrong at the front and the whole team can be wiped out in one go. Meanwhile, Cody Dorsey, the one independent entry this season, he is now leading into turn number 3 with a big push from Synergy teammates in Eric Jensen and Kyle Clank. And I'm surprised that Cody Dorsey isn't in their ranks. I figured out it would have been a landing place for him this season, but he is not with them just yet. Maybe that'll change into week number 2 at Dover, as they have got some chemistry going on that outside. A bunch of Chevys are up there.
Yeah, whole outside beginning to work better now. There was, we see shuffling in the back. It's one of your green 40 cars. But I noticed that what appears to be happening is that side's going to get a huge run, and then the lead car on the outside moves down to the inside lane, and then it just keeps shuffling back and forth. I find that interesting.
One thing we've not yet looked at here today is the weather conditions, brought to you by MXWraps.com. There you go. 79 in the air, 95 on track, clear skies as far as the eye can see here in virtual Daytona Beach. Even the humidity is nice. For Florida in the middle of April, middle of spring here, I guess actually the sim date is in May, so even worse. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, I was actually just there on a tour, and I felt amazing. If it feels anything like it did in real life, it's these drivers are glad that they're not dealing with the blazing heat that they normally get from Daytona, especially in the summer race.
And some runs now on the bottom lane. Kevin Baumler, Ronnie Norman starting to get moving down there. Yeah, I'm thankful that I do not live in Florida. North Carolina gets hot enough for me. And I'm originally from Arizona in California. And so I've I've sweated out those summers. I even did my first summer here in North Carolina with no AC. So believe me, I've baked in everything from a dry heat to a humid heat here in North Carolina. And 2019 was one of the warmer summers for sure. So, yeah, I've been there, done that with heat. It's not my favorite thing in the world at all. I do not like it. I like more temperate climates. Florida, it's all right in the winter. Otherwise, it ain't for me.
You're over here talking about North Carolina heat. I'm over here dying from the Wisconsin heat, and it's barely anything.
Yeah, I was going to say, that is barely anything. If you didn't say it, I was going to. As Kyle Klenk is on his teammate's back bumper. You know, I know the Midwest summers, that they do still get hot. The air sits there, it gets humid. It just kind of, it's an in-between of the Deep South and the Southwest, right? It's just something of its own. And I know when I lived, and we'll wrap this tangent up in a second, when I lived in California, I didn't have central air. We still had triple digits in the summer. And I know a lot of places up in the Midwest, northern Midwest, don't have central air still, just like my place in California for so long, because it just wasn't needed at one point in time. Or it was a luxury. It just wasn't able, you couldn't get it as often. So, anyways, tangent over. We're into the final few laps here of stage number 1. I believe everybody's good on fuel, but if you're not, right, you've got to be hitting the pit lane soon, just like that car on the bottom, actually, Carl Puller. He's exiting the pit lane to get back on the racetrack. He is 14 laps down. The only other lapped car on the racetrack currently is back here. This is Cody Smith in the number 1. He is 1 lap down as he drafts here with Gray Walker and Jake Christenberry, who are at the back end of the lead lap. They are 19 seconds off the leaders currently. They're going to be safe here for stage 1, but if they can't get back with the pack later on, Super, they are in trouble.
Yeah, and it especially sucks for Pooler, too, because he wrecked from the lead of the race, and now 14 laps down, he's basically out of it. Oh, yeah. Well, it's just something that happens at Daytona. Nothing any of the drivers did wrong.
I know Brendan's going to be looking back at that, analyzing it in the next couple of days. I know Carl can't be happy about it. I know I wouldn't be. But, as you say, it's part of Daytona. I think I said this last week in the dual race. If you ever enter a super speedway session on iRacing and are not okay with the idea of crashing out early, you shouldn't be in it. You have to accept that that's a possibility. You cannot get mad about those smaller, trivial things, especially in these kinds of races. You've got to accept that it's going to happen, but at the same time, you do need to strive for it to not happen. You got to race safely, you got to race respectfully, and so far, hats off to the whole field. It's been a very respectful race out there.
Yeah, 35 cars and only one big incident. Extremely impressive. Hats off to every single driver in this field.
Big move there. Plord goes to the bottom, Attic to basement. He's going to bring Johnny Wood Jr. They have their other 2 teammates, Scott Fritz and Richard Wolsifer, in tow. Can they get to the bottom line? So the 38 and 75, they are teammates, 6.5 Motorsports. They're teammates with the 48 and 56. You can see those 2 groups of drivers now in the same team are a little bit split up. If Scott can get lined up to the back bumper of that 75 and bring the 56 along with, they could be in business down low.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's what you want, a whole team working together. But so far, these 2 on their own are doing really good. Look at them trying to challenge for the lead. I think he might get it.
It was very close in the line there.
Oh, we got smoke. What's that?
A car in trouble. Eric Jensen has just popped an engine.
Oh,
Jensen's done.
My God.
That engine has let go. He wasn't watching his temps. 3 laps to go in stage 1, and an engine has expired at the front of the field into turn number 1. Everybody scatters and everybody gets through it. But boy, that threw a wrench in everybody's plans, and Jensen now done for the day. He's going to try and get that car back to the pit lane as quickly as possible, but that's a day over.
It's just unfortunate. But I'll tell you what, that really killed the outside, especially the 31. 31 was right behind him.
2 to go.
He dropped like a rock. But hey, look at it now. The 38 and the 75 can connect with their teammates on that outside lane.
2 to go here in stage 1. There's the front of the field, Jamie Plord and Johnny Wood Jr. controlling both lanes. Plord down low with no teammates. Johnny Wood, his own teammate, has 2 teammates behind him. So 6-5 Motorsports controlling the field right now. Rusty Rafferty shooting the middle. He's trying to bring Whiplash Racing to the front. He gets just underneath that 6 of Perkins. He's going to jump up 1 row, and now he is on the back bumper of Richard Wolsifer. Some teammates working together here. Now he goes 3 wide again. He's going to bring Brady Motes through the middle.
Oh, yeah, you got to respect the guts. He's going to try and hold on to it. Split that team up. That's going to kill all the momentum of that outside lane. And look at the inside. What a huge run for them. Got 1 more lap in the stage. That's the kind of guts you want from Rusty Rafferty.
Rusty's going for it. He knows the opportunity ahead of him. He's trying to get moving through the middle. He's got teammates pushing. No, never mind. They're crashing. Brady Motes in trouble in the 44. Rusty on his own now. Jimmy Plord out front for the stage currently. No caution yet. I think we're racing back for the stage. All the momentum up top. 4 teammates in line. Plord, Wood, Fritz, Wolsifer, but that bottom lane needs to get going. There goes Fritz to the inside.
Fritz trying to make a move. He's trying to do something, but it doesn't look like it's going to work. Plord coming off of turn 4 in the lead. Got his teammate behind him. Clear skies in front.
And Plord
take the stage.
Will win stage number 1. Unbelievable teamwork from 6-5 Motorsports to put the number 38 and their entire team out front of the field. Whiplash Racing tried to get in the way of it, but it went sour very quickly. There is Jamie Plord with the stage win. Your stage top 10, it looks like, will be Plord, Wood, Wolsifer, Fritz, possibly Baumler or Conover. I'm not entirely sure, actually. They've swapped positions now on the racetrack. It looks like it might be Conover. Baumler is headed south, but Perkins, Baumler, Maddox, Norman, and Dorsey. The order might not be final, but I believe those are the 10 drivers that will earn stage points here in stage 1. And so already, a lot of our fantasy teams, Super, they're getting broken. I don't think anybody had Plord for stage 1.
Yeah, I'm actually, you're talking about that. I'm currently looking in the Discord. I want to see where my picks ended up.
Looking through, we had Sam Dyer pick Scott Fritz to win the stage. I see Carl Pooler did pick Jamie Plord on his team, but not to win the stage. So that's interesting. I don't know that anybody is going to have Plord for stage 1. I mean, that is just a little bit out there. It's not something you would expect. So, boy, that's going to change things up. Hey, Julie Buzzio out in the YouTube chat this evening. Julie, if you don't know, what we're talking about is a fantasy game, and nobody would fault you if you picked your husband, Adam, to win every single race. If you haven't heard, Adam needs to start telling you about this stuff. With Whiplash Fantasy Game, for everybody out there, you can still join the Discord and get in. Your picks won't count for Daytona, but there will be drop weeks, so don't worry. You can get in and still be up to date on everything from here. You can still have the same amount of points as anybody else. You can still win this thing even after missing week 1 here, even week 2. I think we're going to do 2 drop weeks for the season. So don't worry, if you missed the call to do it already, that's fine. You can still join the server, you can make your picks each week, and you can still win this thing. And some great prizes up for grabs. We're trying to organize some more as the season goes on. But we've got pit stops coming around, and while these guys do that, Super, I think it would be fair to go back and see what happened to Brady Motes there towards the end of stage 1, because, I mean, they were moving forward, that Whiplash Racing team, and suddenly it all went awry.
Yeah, Richard Wolsifer with a big lunge to take his team up there. I think maybe just too aggressive from his teammates. I'm not sure.
Oh, wow.
He just gets into the wall.
It was Brady Motes in the 44. I'm surprised that wasn't a caution. That really hurt the 23 and 5 and the 27 of Stockero. That really should have been a caution. I'm surprised it wasn't.
Maybe the only thing I can understand is maybe because it was the final lap of the stage and no cars actively went around. It was just a checkup.
Well, the stage wouldn't have come into play because so I don't know if you know, Super. I don't think you're on iRacing, but for those of you that aren't and don't know how the stages work, race admins have to just throw a caution. There's no stage structure built into the sim, so the sim doesn't know these guys are heading to the stage. So it's not like it's the white flag of the race here in that regard. You know, if there's an incident, a caution can still come out here on this lap. But the admins do leave it to iRacing cautions. Brady just got up the racetrack there into Jourdain and maybe lost where he was in the racetrack a bit. You see everything going haywire around and behind him. Brendan Maddox gets a big hit, Adam Buzzio, and a handful of others.
Yeah. I mean, you can't fault them for trying, you know?
No, they were doing a great job of going forward,
yeah.
but that's just the way it goes sometimes. But everybody pitting out of this caution, we do want to hurry into our stage winner interview with the number 38 of Jamie Plord, who has lost a couple of spots here under this caution. That's all right. He's down to the 9th spot. Let's go ahead and dial him up in the number 30. I gotta scroll. There's a lot of drivers this season. They're all in Discord. That's always good. Does have his mic muted. We'll at least give it a shot and see if he can unmute here, especially if he's listening. Jamie, we're trying to talk to you here for your stage 1 win here. I see your mic muted, so I'll give you a second to unmute it if you're able. But boy, a big stage win there. A lot of teamwork going on in the top lane from all of you guys over at 6'5 Motorsports. You, Richard, Scott, Johnny, everybody. A lot of great choreography. Was that the plan all along?
I think so. You guys can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I believe so. So I was kind of just trying to hold back a little bit and just see, you know, how everybody was going to, you know, if everybody was going to be aggressive or not. But I think I just got lucky hanging out on the outside line for a little while, and I saw the opportunity. Johnny was right there, and we kind of made it happen. It was great, though. Great for 6'5".
Yeah, all you guys there at the top of stage 1 earning a bunch of points for you guys. So already a great start to the season. And I know you've been kind of part-time in the past. Is that the plan still here in season 6, or do we see a full-time championship run from you?
Oh, definitely a full-time effort this season. Richard was graceful enough to bring me back, and I like running with these guys. They're all a great group of guys. Everybody in this league is. So let's see what 6'5 can do. I think we have a good shot this year for the championship.
That's awesome to hear. Of course, you did last season with 6'5 in the 38. You know, you still had, well, you had joined them, so you still had Johnny Richard to bounce off of. But how much does it change things to add Scott to that lineup too?
Oh, absolutely. Scott's a great addition to the team. He brings a lot of knowledge. Richard and Johnny are very knowledgeable themselves. So I think if we all put our heads together, we can, you know, we can really, like I said, make a great run. I don't see why none of us can't be in the championship, or at least in the playoffs.
Well, hopefully we're talking to you guys in playoff contention here very soon. Best of luck, Jamie.
Thank you very much, guys.
A big stage win there for Jamie Plord to get the season started. And just going off of Discord channels, by the way, they are working with Synergy. So pretty much all the Chevrolets sticking together here at the front of the field. And that's good to see for the manufacturer thing. And, you know, those teams working together, that's going to be a thorn in everybody else's side, because clearly they've got this game figured out for these stages. But here we go. Stage 1 complete, racing to the end of the race now. Stage 2 begins. We are racing again at Daytona International Speedway, the world center of racing. And as this stage begins and the field roars back onto the Daytona Super Stretch, a big thank you once again to our partners with the series: Sundance Pizza, MXWraps.com, Performance Food Group, RevSimShop.com, Whiplash SimCams, and CC's Business. And our partners here at the channel: Whiplash SimCams, MX Wraps, ACVO, Murder Esports, CC's Business, North American Racing League, and Whiplash Creative. One lap complete this time by from the restart here. Super. Boy, things have changed. Suddenly, Johnny Wood Jr. out front. Josh Conover roaring to the lead. He's got position number 1 as they race back to turn 1.
Yeah, he's got Maddox pushing him along. Now Maddox actually peeking down to that inside, trying to cover 3 of those 6'5 racing cars. Conover will join him, as now here's Dorsey. He was a big name at stage 1. He was up there. He's going to go around the outside, take the lead. And now, I don't know if we're going to see him cut to the inside. I did see him on that outside lane a little bit in stage 1. Are we going to see him try to hold on to that outside?
I think the top lane is the place to be, if you've got help. I think if you're on your own, just trying to get to the front, you probably want to go ahead and cycle out to the bottom. But I think it's just too early to try and play Pied Piper. You really don't want to throw too many blocks here on lap 37 of 100. So if you're on your own, probably just cycle out to the front, you width the top lane, then drop down and kind of conveyor belt it. But if you've got numbers, top lane, way to go. It's just a bit faster.
I do believe we just saw a lapped car go by on that bottom screen.
I think it's the 81. It is.
Yeah, I'm a little worried how that might interfere with our leaders. I think could really screw them up here. Maybe, probably see them coming into turn 1. That's not where you want a lapped car.
Evan's staying on the racetrack, but staying low. There goes the field. The leaders at least sorted out pretty easily, but the rest of the field going to tighten up. The good news is that the pace differential will slowly tighten because he's in the draft now, so that will slowly speed that 81 car up. But here we go, racing for the lead. Josh Conover, Cody Dorsey side by side down the backstretch. Really no help for really no help from Conover, but there we go. Baumler now going to drop. He was pushing the 9 of Dorsey. Now Baumler drops low. That brings Norman down low. And once again, Dark Star Garage leads.
Yeah, 3 Fords down on that inside. I think we got a Chevy and a Ford on the outside. So you're naturally going to see more connection between those Ford cars. They have that Ford partnership. So, even if they're not teammates, they're more inclined to work with each other.
Well, that and Dark Star Garage and Whiplash Racing are aligned. So the 1, the 10, the 11, the 17, all at Dark Star will work with the 40, the 41, the 43, and the 44 at Whiplash. So in this case, it's Conover and the 40 working with the 1 and the 17, the 10 and the 17 ahead of him. They may as well be teammates. They're all working together. They're in the same Discord channel. And look at that. The 41 and 43 are right off the right rear of that 40 car. So they are not far behind. They're going to join the party. And honestly, they're bringing the 11 as well of Christenberry. The numbers are shifting the way of Dark Star and Whiplash right now.
Speaking of Whiplash, 2 of those cars on the outside right now. They got Kane and Rafferty. 41 and 43, both of them trying to make a move. See if they can get up there.
Here is Rusty Rafferty. You can vote for him in the MX Reps Best in Show contest. You can also vote for Caden Perkins, Ray Walker, or Eric Jensen. That vote will run through lap 50, right at halfway, and then we'll wrap it up and give that award out. But right now, Rafferty, top lane, about 4th in line, trying to go forward. The bottom lane got going big time that lap through 3 and 4. But here comes the top.
I mean, honestly, I'm kind of hoping Rafferty does good. I chose him for my fantasy team. I really hope he does good.
On the fantasy comment, looking back at my team, I grabbed Borbell, Pooler, and Rafferty. I picked Borbell to win the stage. That's already gone wrong. Also, Pooler, right? He's in trouble. He's actually down 14 laps. He is back in the field, but he's 35th, 2 laps behind the next car, Eric Jensen, who's already out of the race. Dan Stockero 10 laps down. He would be next up. But I picked William Maple Jr. to win this race. Just an oddball, kind of wild card, and I feel like if those next level or level up guys get behind the 12 car at the end of the race, I don't think there's any way they get off the back of the 12. William is a newer addition to the series. He's the newest of all those guys as it comes to iRacing. And I just have a feeling that if they get that opportunity to push him to the win, they will. And so there's William Maple back here with a couple of teammates behind, and Dakota Bly and Evan Batinko. He always runs that same Wood Weathers throwback. That's who I've got to win the race.
I mean, you already know this. I'm a sucker for classics. I love that scheme.
And I'm looking for your team, and we're going to cover this each week. You've got Scott Fritz to win it. You have actually the same guy in Group 3. You've got Wolsifer, Patinko, and Rafferty on your team for points. You had Bordell to win the stage, but Fritz to win the race. I think Fritz is a great win pick as these guys are starting to get a little more organized up top. And they're pulling a bit more of an advantage. So It's interesting, we both picked Bordeaux to win the first stage. That didn't happen, but here he is. As soon as the first stage is over, he's going forward.
And I'm glad he decides now to start going forward. not when I needed him. But at least he's doing something.
Well, and go back to the pre-race conversation. He's best in this field by stats, but I think that also comes down to, I think Dale Jr. led a lot of laps on plate tracks, and certainly, as a Junior fan, I will, die on the hill that he is super talented in plate racing, and was through his entire career. But I think by default, he, Denny Hamlin, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, a lot of those guys, they had crazy super speedway stats and even win totals because they had the gumption, they had the gall to go up and actually race in the front. And I think it's kind of the same case here for Stephen Borbell, where he just kind of by default, he's more willing to go race at the front of the field. So by default, he just stacks up a lot of those laps led. That's not to say he isn't talented in this kind of racing super, but I think there is a little bit of kind of default going on there where he is willing to go race and a lot of guys aren't.
I mean, yeah. I will also say it's a little crazy how you're talking about all these great super speedway racers and you didn't mention Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Oh, of course, but he was a little before my time. And that's a given anyways. I think he truly was just the most talented we've ever had in that kind of racing. And I don't think that was a default. I think the other guys, they kind of just always had the guts to go up there, and certainly their restrictor plate or their super speedway racing was different from a lot of Dale Seniors. He saw the eras change there in the 90s, where it went from being single file, all strung out at Daytona and Talladega. Sure, it was still a bit of that in the early 2000s, but you had that transition where it became more of a pack race mentality versus just being the best at getting a car to slice through the air for 4 hours.
Yeah. Well, we could talk about that interesting dynamic for hours on end, but
we could.
I like the racing. Yeah, I love the racing we have now. The really tight pack racing, it provides for great racing and greater wrecks.
It definitely does do that. And of course, next week, going back to the schedule a bit, we won't pull up the graphic, we'll let you see all these sights and sounds, but Dover, up on the schedule next. That's going to be a completely different kind of racing what we see this evening, right? This is pack racing, 190, 200 miles an hour. At any instant, anything could go wrong and you wipe out 20 cars. And that might be the only constant between Daytona and Dover, is you can have anything go wrong at any moment at Dover, you can wipe out 20 cars. It's so congested, the racing line is super tight, it's what they call a self-cleaning racetrack where an accident happens, it drops down the banking and gets more cars involved. That would be the only real similarity between the two tracks, other than they are racetracks at the highest level of stock car racing. Otherwise, they are so different. This is 2.5 miles, a big super speedway. Next week at Dover, 1 mile. It's just barely too big to call it a short track. I think some people still call it a short track. You get short track package when it comes to aero and engine there for the NASCAR Cup Series now. It's completely different from what we see here today as Ben Kinney makes the move to go down low. He's trying to lead here at Daytona. He gets to the inside of Cody Dorsey, and Kinney will take over for at least a moment here on lap 47.
I know you're excited to see one of your cars up front.
I am.
Got Rafferty too. Yeah, got Rafferty too, but Kinney will. I do believe he led that lap. I'm not sure.
It was close.
Yeah. As now trying around the outside, Dorsey pushed by Kinney's teammate in Rafferty. But look at the run that inside line has. Right, it's what we were talking about earlier in the race. The inside much better through the corner, but the outside much better through the straightaway. It's really interesting, the whole dynamic of it.
Really tight here at the front of the field. Everybody trying to find their way here, lap 48. That best in show vote, by the way, over on YouTube. That's going to wrap up in 2 more laps. To quickly go through the cars up for vote. Let's look at them here briefly. Rusty Rafferty, one of them, and that number 43. Paying homage to the Boston Shaker in memory of my own great uncle. late great uncle, Ed Nielsen. He passed away this February of 2026. Was a big influence into my aspirations to go work in the world of motorsports, and left us very suddenly. Further back, on a less personal note, the number 6 of Caden Perkins. There's the Stormseeker Ford Mustang. Great colors there. We can't show you the 99, unfortunately, of Eric Jensen, but we can show you the 18 of Gray Walker, the Easter M&M's Toyota Camry. One more lap to make your vote. We'll give a little bit of buffer time as the stream is a little bit ahead. I guess a little behind, technically. But make your votes now. Make them count. Final lap here of the first half. And you're looking at race stats even for this first half of racing, Super. Again, as we said earlier, very clean race so far. 2 cautions. One of those was for the stage. There was an incident that lap, but the caution still was for the stage. 22 lead changes in this first half. We're working on a couple more as Dorsey and Rafferty split the lead here into turn 3. Rafferty now down low. He's going to take it in the 43 car.
And that is why I chose him.
He's making some moves. He's gotten super confident lately. He had some great results at the back end of season 5. He's going to lead here at halfway. A block there on Cody Dorsey. Is that another lead change in the book? And yes, it is.
Tell you what, it was a ballsy block to the outside, really late. But that's just a block you have to make at Daytona. Probably not on lap 51 out of 100, but when we get to these later, like 10 to go, 5 to go, as Dorsey shuffled outside. That's Clark who pushed him out. Now, very loose off the front apparent.
Things are getting crazy here in the front of the field. Coulter Clark showing some muscle. He's got no help though. Josh Parrott falling back. Brendan Maddox with him. To the line, however. Coulter Clark going to have a run and get Zach Maddox to push. Coulter Clark now leads. Lap 51.
That's that kind of side draft work. Great job from him. As now Rafferty is getting cycled out to the back.
Yeah, he's
sucks for him, but he's got to keep it.
Yeah, Ben Kinney is there, but unable to do much pushing right now. A bunch of the Toyotas just surged to the front. A bunch. I mean, 6 of them. Clark, Maddox, Parrott, Stallings, Maddox, and Taylor. They are all aligned. More or less teammates in this kind of racing. They're all Toyotas. They're all working together, and they have just taken over to begin this second half of the race here as a couple of cars go backwards 3 wide here as we're suddenly single file. We are beginning to have to think about fuel here, Super. We'll get to that in a second. First up, let's go ahead and give out the MX Wraps Best in Show Award. For the first time in season number 6, it will go to Gray Walker. I believe these paint schemes are painted by Caden Perkins, so it's still a win for him. But that is a really good-looking Easter marshmallow treat. M&M's number 18. Again, it's a good candy, honestly. I do enjoy it. Grabbed a bag ourselves here ahead of Easter, but there you go. Gray Walker, Best in Show.
Completely deserving as well. Look at that beauty.
Meanwhile, single file as far as the eye can see here, Super. Pit stops, they're on the way, and these guys are starting to think about how they want to structure the end of the race. If we go green, they've got to think, they've got to start working this race in reverse. When do they want to make that final stop? How much insurance do they need to give themselves?
Yeah, a real big talking point, right, whenever we do get to these green for like pit stops, is just like a mistake that could very, very easily be made. You're dropping probably like 100 something miles per hour. I don't know the exact number. Just to get down onto pit road, it's so easy to just lock up, make a mistake, hit the driver ahead of you. I think there's probably like a 50-50 chance we get a caution if we get to green flag pit stops. There could easily be a wreck.
The chance is even better than that, I think. And a lot of guys do wait specifically for that reason. I've found myself in that position to do that. To wait on the pit cycle to play out. See if there will be a caution during pit stops. Try and outlast it as long as you can. There's some racing sparking up just outside the top 5. Stephen Borbell trying to get a line going with Johnny Wood Jr. and the other 6.5 cars. They're going forward. on the outside lane, trying to make something happen up there. Otherwise, mostly single file through the entire field. These guys can go, as we learned last week, just about 24 laps because they had 25 lap duels and they were all saving for that. So 23, 24 laps right around there. They've run 22 since their pit stops. Of course, that was under caution, so they could do a little bit of saving to begin that stint. But they have got to be careful on fuel. Even some cars pitting already. Buzzio, Smith, and Quayle all came in that lap. 4 tires and fuel for each of them, as Buzzio is still waiting in the box. Bit of a longer stop there. Smith is down and away quick. And Buzzio is the last of them to get back on the racetrack. They might be too far strung apart.
Yeah, but now do you think that, that whole big kerfuffle at around lap 50, like 51, 52, you think that's because drivers are realizing that their pits are now, right, they're coming up to them. Do you think, just trying to be as aggressive as possible, try to get as far ahead as you can for those stops?
That's just it. You want to pit from, as far up as you can, because any little mishap, any little imperfection in your pit stop run, and you're going to lose time and possibly lose the draft. One pitting here, Cody Dorsey. He was out front a lot. He's spinning into the pit lane. That won't bring a caution. He's down in pit lane, so no yellow there for the 9. But that, for example, is going to take him out of the draft. He's now going to hope that somebody else has a similar issue and that he can link up with them. But here we go, top lane going. The 6.5 cars they've been saving, maybe they can go a little bit longer. They want a slingshot to the front of the line. That way, again, and you see this single file line all lined up, everybody in a line. There's going to be that kind of slinky kind of chain reaction, rubbernecking as they call it, as the whole line pits. The back of the line is going to lose a lot more time. You want to be further forward if you can be.
Yeah, I mean, what did I tell you right there? We just saw it is so easy. We got pitters, but it is so easy to lock up going, oh, is that Clark?
Oh, Rafferty around into the pit lane in front of a bunch of cars. Watch out, Brady Moats into him. Teammates there into the pit lane. Trouble for the Whiplash cars. Baumler and a bunch of the other Fords will come in, but trouble for Rafferty and Moats. The rest will hit their boxes. I did see Coulter Clark slow off the pace. A replay here for pit stops.
Yeah, I think Clark just tried to go in, but he realized he committed way too late. I think we'll see that.
Yeah, he tried to get down there. It was not going to happen. He waited a little bit too late, which now makes me wonder if he's going to run out, trying to get back to the pit lane. Meanwhile, let's quickly see what happened to the 43 of Rafferty. Here he is. He's going to be at the beginning of the line for the Whiplash cars and the Fords. Whiplash, Dark Star, level up, next level. Rafferty into the pit lane.
Just a lockup?
Wheel hop.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a hard hit.
Brady Moats with nowhere to go there. The next field of stops have all come into the pit lane. Here they are working off the pit lane. Richard Wolsifer, Scott Fritz, and more.
Like I said, it's just so easy to lock up when you're losing that much speed.
With a long field of cars coming out of the pit lane here. Rafferty, I believe, had to come back into the pit lane to serve a penalty. And he is now rejoining just ahead of these guys, so he will certainly lose a lap to the field as Fritz, Wolsifer, and everybody else works back onto the asphalt. Coulter Clark, he's just rejoining. He's going to go from the front to the back. Well, that was an eventful little round of pit stops, and this has strung the field completely out. That's what I was talking about. You want to be towards the front, because inevitably, the string of cars you have coming in will lengthen out. If you're not at the front, say bye-bye, unless this thing gets another caution.
Suddenly I'm a lot less confident about my fantasy picks.
Part of it.
Definitely sucks, but...
That's just Daytona. That is just Daytona.
I didn't think I was going to be coming out of this as the winner, but,
Bunch of different groups around the racetrack.
If anyone would have predicted it right.
And while these guys kind of settle in now after their pit stops, see the top 5 together here. It's basically the 6'5 cars plus Zach Maddox. Behind them, Josh Parent, Kyle Clank, Brendan Maddox, and some others trying to catch up to them. While these guys all work on doing so, let's go ahead and take a look at what's coming up for us here at Pit Stop TV. The next couple of broadcasts for us. Next up on our list is actually this Thursday, April the 9th. It's also my mother's birthday, so happy birthday to her out there if she's still watching. And Monday, April 13th, we continue on with the Nora Retro Cup Series. So this week we have a little bit of GT3 flavor at Suzuka. That's always fun, but that is throwback vibes. Retro Cup cars at a retro track. That is, of course, Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina. Before we get back in action with these ARCA cars for the BRB Sundance Pro Series at Dover Motor Speedway next week, April 14th. You can follow these broadcasts and everything Pit Stop TV at the links down below. Primarily Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, but also Facebook and Instagram for updates. Still a lot of racing ahead. I don't think this group is out of it if this goes green here, Super. These 5 can definitely run the front 5 down, but they're going to have to be very, very disciplined. On board here with Josh Parent. That's the gap to the car ahead of Zach Maddox. 1.4 seconds.
It's closing a little bit, but I also, you do have to consider, if you just take a look at the top 4, I mean, right, I'm willing to bet that those guys are going to work very well together, so it's going to be even harder to chase them down.
The gap is coming down a little bit. Parent grabbing a 10th there. Again, they just need to be really, really disciplined to catch up. That group further behind might just need to kind of hope for a caution at this point. I think if you're Josh Conover in 10th or further back, yeah, 2.7 seconds up to Dakota Bly, I think you're starting to think maybe about just how you can just execute from here, make sure you're in a good spot if we get a caution. Otherwise, those final 10 laps, when these guys start to realize, yeah, this is the bed we've made, we got to lie in it now, it's going to get hectic at that point in time.
You know, we've said it so many times throughout the race, that's just Daytona.
Yeah. And speaking of just being Daytona, Zach Maddox actually just helped this lead pack go forward. The side draft they're pulling, he just pulled, I mean, they pulled several tenths on those cars further back. That's the wrong one, hang on. Why is that not working? There we go. Now it's working nicely. Maddox, there's the tracking back to Parent, 2.6 seconds. They have gained nearly a second on that group further back and growing. I don't know what's going on now for these guys back here. It seemed like Clank may have gotten hot under the 22. It looks like they actually just swapped there, so Clank now behind the 23. So that's what I'm guessing happened there. Is Clank got hot trying to push Parent and they had to swap.
Yeah, right. We already saw what happens when you get an engine failure, right? Yeah. You know, completely out of the race. I would much rather lose a second than have an engine failure.
Riding on board here with Kyle Clank. Well, lap 68, Super, I'm going to have an announcement. I haven't told anybody about this. Nobody knows what's about to happen. I don't have a special graphic, but we do have a special announcement. Problems, Dakota Bly into the pit lane. What is going on here? This can't be a scheduled pit stop.
Well,
this must have been a bump and a shuffle out for the 88 car. Here's what happened. He did come in. What?
Maybe didn't get enough fuel.
That's my guess. That's my guess.
Definitely came in too hot, though.
Here he is in the pit lane. Maybe something going on in the real world that he has to step out of the sim for me. That's my only other guess.
Yeah.
He's just pitted down there, not moving.
I think you might be right. I think it might be a real world thing.
That's going to hurt that second group now. Parent, Maddox, Clank, they're starting to fall back to Josh Conover and company, and it's a big line with Conover, Baumler, and everybody else. Conover, Baumler, Kinney, Christenberry, they're all aligned. Then you've got Perkins, Taylor, White, and Norman. Just behind them, get back to Dustin Stallings in the double lot with Carl Pooler on his front bumper, then Gray Walker, Coulter Clark, Sam Dyer, Cole Lewis, even Robert Warrior Jr. here. William Maple has got help from a couple of his teammates in Stephen Borbell and Evan Batinko, and then Adam Buzzio is back here in 25th. He's got help from Jake McQuail and Brady Motes along with Cody Smith. It is now lap 68 though, Super. So we're going to soft launch something. If you are a driver in the BRB Sundance Pro Series going into New Hampshire for race number 3, I've got news for you. It's going to be a Cars movie themed race. We are going to have a structure set up in the next day or two to basically do a draft of paint schemes, characters and paint schemes. And we're going to have a custom folder of paint schemes in the background. And you will get to elect, or I guess pick, whichever character you'd like. There will be some structure to it, so some details coming out tomorrow. But I picked lap 68 here, Super. Why? Because that's Chick Hicks' number.
It's a bold driver to choose. I would have waited until 95.
Well, we can't do it at 5 to go.
But it's Lightning McQueen.
Well, we're going to have some Lightning McQueens out in the field at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. That's the Whiplash Creative partnered event at New Hampshire coming up soon. It's going to happen quickly. Might even do it twice this season. Who knows? So stay tuned on that. If you like the Cars movie, like myself and my 3-year-old, then that'll be a fun one. Meanwhile, those cars we're just looking at, Adam Buzzio, Cody Smith, Brady Motes, Jacob Quayle, they're going a lap down here. They've all got damage, and they just are not up to the same speed as the leaders, who are now coming around to lap them. And boy, oh boy, it is looking like 6.5 has got this league covered on these super speedways right now.
Tell you what, if Josh Parent, or sorry, not Josh Parent, Maddox, I read the wrong name, finds a way to win this race, I will be shocked. It's a 1 against 4 right now.
Yeah, we've seen 2v1s, we've even seen 3v1s. I don't think we've ever seen a 4v1, but we're getting ready to.
Yeah, he's actually shuffled onto the outside, couldn't get back inside with those other lead lap cars.
And there's Rusty Rafferty going a second lap down. He'll be joined by Dakota Bly. They were working together for a little bit. So things have gone wrong there, and that's going to break some fantasy teams, mine included. Scott Fritz, though.
Rafferty.
Yeah, Scott Fritz, though. If he's able to get this win in particular, he is a big threat the rest of the season. You get this guy hot, you get him in a rhythm, and he can do some big things. I feel like this season, especially, he got really good last season. Got a win, I think, maybe 2. Certainly was in contention for a lot of wins. But you start him off with the points lead potentially. You start him off. I'm sorry, Zach. Yes, 86, 68. My point was that we can't do it too late. Yes. There was still an intent there. 68 is 86 reversed. Zach, thank you. I got a little excited about it, okay? No, the 68 car is actually purple. We got it. We got a die-cast of it out in the living room that Drew has beat up at this point. And believe me, I know Chick Hicks is the 86, but it's reversed. Reverse. We can't do it too late in the race. We can't. You know what we'll be talking about at that point, Zach? We'll be talking about driver of the day. And I'm already got my gears turning here, Super. Easily, it's got to come from this 6.4 camp right now, right? Or 6.5 camp.
I would not be surprised if. I mean, come on. It has to be. Honestly, it might be all of them. Can we just put the entire team, as a whole in there?
If we don't get a caution by lap 90, when we're slated to do it, yeah, that might be a possibility. I mean, Zach Maddox, to his credit, though, is trying to take the establishment down. He's on the outside lane. He's got Cody Smith now helping him, trying to break things up. And hey, Zach's going forward. This could, you just said you'd be surprised if Zach Maddox is able to beat any of them, let alone 2 to win. That might be the way he does it, some lap cars.
Yeah, he's definitely getting some help from that number 1 pit stop machine behind him, who's been pushing him around the outside. Yeah, we could honestly see him make some moves. I'm impressed, I'll tell you what.
That's how close they are on board of Johnny Wood Jr.
Ooh.
Oh man, that 14's starting to go forward. Honestly, sometimes those are the best groups on a plate track. The ones that come together by accident, that are unorganized, they're not teammates, those are sometimes the best drafting partners to have.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're getting shaky down low. I think 6'5" is starting to take note of what's going on in the outside lane. You've got a Maverick Motorsports Toyota in Zach Maddox. You've got a Cody Smith, or well, I guess Dark Star Garage, Cody Smith number 1 on the outside lane. He is 1 lap down. He's currently in the lucky dog position. He's actually racing the car behind him for it. That's Brady Motes from Whiplash Racing. So 3 different teams on the outside lane, and they're on 2 different laps. But Zach Maddox has gone from 5th to battling Scott Fritz for the lead.
So it's a little breakfast club between the 3 of them.
Yeah. 25 to go when we get back to the stripe. This is how close the leaders are. Zach Maddox now pulls down the back stretch, but for how long? You see the run from the bottom lane. They're going to put some distance, I think, on that 14 through 3 and 4. Maybe not. Big side draft there. Wow. 1v4, and there goes Maddox to the bottom.
You know what? I have learned over the course of commentating that pretty much everything I say is immediately incorrect like 5 laps later. So I'm really not surprised.
Yeah, you'll have that, unfortunately, quite a lot. I've learned that too. Kind of like saying that 68 is Chick Hicks' number. I know it's 86, but the intent was to do it reversed. Big tandem moment from the 14 and 48. They get out ahead of the 56 of Wolsifer. Hello, ooh. Richard. Watch out. Off the bumper of Johnny Wood Jr. That was a little scary for a moment. Adam Buzzio now in this group. He's a lap down. So the cars that are battling for the Lucky Dog right now, there's, what, 6 of them? 5 of them, maybe. Yeah, 5. Cody Smith, Brady Motes, Adam Buzzio, Jacob Quayle. They're all together. Then a little farther back, you'll find Cody Dorsey. Then the drivers that are 2 laps down but still running, those are Dakota Blind, Rusty Rafferty. Evan Patinko is 3 down, and Carl Pooler is 14 down. The only 2 cars out of this race currently, those are Dan Stockero in the 27 and Eric Jensen in the 99. Unfortunate for Eric, his return to the series will be a DNF, last place of the entire field.
Yeah, it's a brutal sport.
Those Fords have backed off. We're starting to get down to crunch time for pit stops again. We're just inside the window. It's just opened up. We could start to see some pit stops as Brady Motes tries to get in line there with Adam Buzzio.
We've already seen plenty of chaos that last time by. I think that if all of those, just absolutely destroying the top 5, 6'5" Motorsports and Maddox, if they can have a clean pit stop, I don't think anyone's going to touch them. They are 4 seconds ahead, continuing to just have a huge gap over that group behind. If they can have a good stop, no one's catching them.
I think the target for these guys will be about 20 laps to go to make their pit stop. Never mind. There we go. There's a handful coming in. The one of Cody Smith leading the charge. That's going to bring Adam Buzzio, Brady Motes, and a couple of others. Oh no! Brady Motes has shotgun to the engine. He's done.
Oh. Sucks to go out. He was looking like he was coming in a little fast.
Not only that, but let's listen to the downshifts here for Brady. Right here, this next one. Yep, 8K, too much.
Yep. Shattered the engine.
Just too aggressive.
You have to be that level of aggressive, though.
I admire, again, the gall, the gumption, if you will, but that's too aggressive on the downshifts right here. You see the flames out the exhaust and then all the smoke out the rear. That is not how you want to do that.
Sucks to go out that way, knowing, right? Just knowing what could have been, right? I'm not gonna lie, he was, what was it, 1 lap, 2 laps down? What
He was
it?
already 1 lap down, fighting for the lucky dog spot. Here are some of his teammates in the pit lane now, though. Ben Kinney, Josh Conover, along with affiliated drivers, Kevin Baumler and Ronnie Norman, and Jake Christenberry, and Cody Smith back in the pit lane. They're all together here with Robert Warrior Jr. as well. Conover going to lead that charge back on the racetrack. He's still got a clean number 40. Meanwhile, here we go. Race leaders into the pit lane. Scott Fritz, Richard Wolsifer way out there. Watch out, Richard. He's in the grass.
And there goes my pick.
Richard Wolsifer just made a huge driver error. That's going to take him out of this run with his teammates. He's likely going to fall back to that second group. Let's check this out. Much like others, just wheel hop, sliding into the pit lane, boom. That's going to be a penalty
Almost
as well.
had it.
That's not only out into the grass, that's going to be an unsafe pit exit, an unsafe pit entry, and likely even a speeding penalty, depending on how fast he came through that cone.
Way to kick a man while he's down, jeez.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a really big issue for Wolsifer. You see those rears were locking up before the fronts. That's wheel hop on the downshifts. That's what you get with solid axle rear ends. I like it for road course racing, but man, does it suck on ovals when you're trying to pit. Here we go.
We got more.
The rest of the field in here. Brendan Maddox, Caden Perkins, Jordan White, all the Toyotas come in this lap. They're down and away. It looks like fuel only for them largely. Got a Ford and Chevy in there too.
Cotton.
No, I think that's the way to go. You do not want to be taking tires here with 20 to go. It's fuel only, down and away. Also, simplify the stop, keep the tires hot. But there go the leaders. Johnny Wood Jr., Jamie Plord, they go on by. Scott Fritz. What happened here? He didn't get the memo. Look at the pit time, bottom right here for Johnny Wood Jr., 8.82 seconds in the box. Let's pick the 48 here, 12.3. He did not get the memo about whatever they were doing with tires and fuel. So he has dropped out of that lead group. It's now just 3 cars up there. And look at this. Whoa! Fritz through the middle.
Well, he's certainly trying to make up for that mistake.
And he's back up into 4th now, but they are 6 seconds behind the top 3. So now, sure, the numbers are still technically against Zach Maddox, but not nearly as severely. Instead of a 4v1, it's a 2v1.
Yeah, and unfortunately, unlike last time, he doesn't have the assistance of that one machine, but...
Give it some time.
Still, I'd much rather take a 2v1 than a 4v1.
With that pack in the background, though, 6.5 seconds back. I'll be intrigued to see if they can run these leaders down, or if it's too large of a gap to make up.
It is 3 cars. I think there's a chance.
I can never keep up with the meta on iRacing in draft battles like this. If it's better to have fewer cars or more cars, if it's better to side draft or say single file, I can't keep up with it. It changes, it seems like, every season. But what I can tell you is in the last lap, this group was made up about a half second and counting. They were 6.5 seconds back about a lap ago, now 5.6.
Yeah, we were talking about Fritz taking 2. Maybe when he ends up catching back up to that pack, those 2 tires could do him a lot of good. I'd have gotten a little bailed out by that big pack. Look at how many of them there are. So splitting up a little bit, that is not what you want. You need to stay bunched up, working together.
inside of 20 to go. You're watching the second group on the racetrack, certainly the more numerous of groups between the top two groups. 3 cars in the first group, about 15 here in the second group, it looks like. I think there's a mix of a couple of lap cars in there too, but they're all trying to chase down the top 3, and they're starting to do so again. Down to 5 seconds up there. The problem now, we saw it for Kyle Klenk earlier, right, Super? I mean, we saw the 31 get hot, have to swap out, and that slowed that second group down, and, that second group was never the same afterwards with Maddox pushing Parent. So now, Caden Perkins, I think the focus really has to be on him. He not only has to push the 48 as efficiently as possible, he also has to manage those engine temps, and that's difficult.
Yeah, you see him, right, he's poking out a little bit, like when he, like at least I just saw it right there coming out of 4. He poked out a little bit, tried to get some clean air in there, right? It's a good strategy. It's really hard when you're the car behind to just perfectly get those temps and push the car ahead. It's such a difficult thing to do, and if he, honestly, if he can bring like Fritz back up, he might get driver of the day.
And just for that reason, we want to wait as long as we can here. I'll tell you what, maybe this is what we do, Super. Maybe we pick a couple now. We wait about 5, maybe 8 more laps. We pick 2 more. Sound good to you?
I like that idea. I like that idea.
So I'll go ahead and give you the 4 here first. What I will do for you is put up positions gained since the start of the race, and already there's a couple of clear favorites there.
Yeah. Now, I could, go with probably Johnny Wood Jr. He gained 27 spots, but I really just want to go Maddox. I mean, right, we saw what he was doing. He had help from the one who is not his teammate, not even the same manufacturer, and he was still able to fight for the top. He's been holding on to these 6.5 cars all race long, at least since the pit stop. It's just impressive considering he's all alone and he's by himself. I'm just so impressed watching what he's doing. I
agree. I like what Zach Maddox is up to today. For my first driver of the day pick, I'm actually going to stay in the top 10, but I'm going to drop back a little bit. I'm going to go Cole Lewis here. The Canadian has gone from 35th, dead last on the grid, to the top 10. And, I mean, yes, his teammates at Synergy Racing, they were in the top 10 earlier, but he didn't make it to the duels last week. He was not at the front of the field like they were. He had to do a lot of work to get up here, and has been as high as 50 even, I think, during that last pit cycle. But Cole has worked a very quiet race. He's keeping that car in contention. He's up 28 spots. That stands out to me big time. So Cole Lewis, yes, we saw his teammates up here earlier, the 31 and the 27, along with even the 99, actually. Which now, I think I've just realized Synergy is full, so Cody Dorsey can't join them. Anyways, yeah, I mean, we saw, Jensen up there earlier. We saw Klenk up there earlier. But we never really saw Cole Lewis up there until now. So props to Cole. He's gotten here at the right time. And, hey, he could even be in this to win it here in a little bit longer. Give it some time. Meanwhile, look at this.
Very exciting.
We have added a lap car to this group. No, Rafferty's not going to be able to latch on. Dang. If Rusty could have just latched on here, maybe he still can, but it's not looking likely. As he goes a 4th lap down to that 43 car. It has all come unraveled for the 43 machine tonight.
Looking so strong. Just made one mistake in the pits, and that's how fast everything can go.
I want to give him props, though. His ISP, his internet service provider, they had to do a lot of work to even get him back online. He had a handful of weeks where he just didn't know what was going to be going on. Couldn't make the duels last week, so he also had to go from the back of the field tonight. But he has had put himself in a very competitive position earlier in this race, and of course, that has changed. He's now just kind of hanging on, riding around 4 laps down, trying to get whatever he can at the end of this one. But hey, props to him. He's sticking in it to win it. Does not want to fall out. As here we go, Zach Maddox Those guys are starting to gain on them. They're inside of 2.5 seconds. Maddox is slowing them down. I don't know if this is to his benefit or his demise.
I mean, Fritz is right behind him, and Fritz is absolutely going to want to work with these two. I respect him going for it, but I don't see the long-term gain.
I think they were always going to be sitting ducks, but much more quickly now, which might give him more time. It might give Zach more time to link up with his own teammates. So who knows? Again, I don't know if it's to his benefit or his demise. We'll find out. 9 laps to go at Daytona.
Oh, they're right behind.
Here we go. Fritz and Perkins go high. Big slingshot out of that Chevrolet and Ford duo.
Maddox going to try to go high with them. Now the 3 teammates on that inside. Maddox going to get help from his brother.
Yeah, look at the Toyotas. Zach Maddox goes middle. Big jump underneath the 6 car of Perkins. Puller says, I'm out of here. He's going to drop back. But those Toyotas just pulled a master juke on Caden Perkins. They broke his ankles.
You know what?
They go! Bottom side. Fritz with a big save. 4 wide. Hang on to it, guys. Josh Parent slides around. And suddenly the race is in the hands of the Toyotas. Now Zach Maddox looks like a genius.
Yeah, tell you what, I stand corrected.
Unbelievable turn of events. There's always a twist on the way. Always. Caution. Cole Lewis, Jamie Plord.
Speaking of twist.
And they continue, which really makes me wonder about that incident we saw earlier. Let's go back here. Let's see all this build up through turns 3 and 4. There goes Pooler. He's out of here. He says goodbye. Watch Fritz. He's going to have a heck of a save here in a second off the bumper of Johnny Wood Jr. Teammates now over at 6'5". Right there. Wood hooks the 48. Big checkup. They all scatter. Jourdain gets around. A 4 wide there with Josh Parent. Bangs doors with Jamie Plord. And then something happens here with Cole Lewis in the 52 and Jamie Plord in the 38. Let's watch and see. Well, the blimp flipped camera perspective, but wow. I'm surprised that was a caution, but the incident on the final lap of stage 1 wasn't.
Well, can't be perfect.
Yeah. iRacing is fantastic. I don't want to rag on iRacing too much, and you know, they provide the program. You can only do so much with it. Cole Lewis there just got a little offset into turn 1 and got in the left rear of Jamie Plord.
I mean, I can see why the caution was coming out. I'm completely surprised that he was not around. I was fully convinced that he was going to spin.
Hey, our very own Chris Winstone out in the YouTube chat. He works with us on Thursday nights with the North American Racing League. He actually is racing in the pro race this Thursday at Suzuka in his, I believe now, Ford Mustang. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. He ran a Ferrari for a bunch of seasons, but now over in the Ford camp, and he'll be, again, in that pro race this Thursday at Suzuka. He's been commentating the AM races with me, and we have some more plans with him in the future. Not only on Pit Stop TV, but also getting him in the fold at Whiplash Racing. He was almost a candidate to come race the BRB Racing League, actually. Very nearly put him in the lineup. Here we go. Do we get any pit stops? I think the leaders will want to stay out if they can. And you see exactly that. These guys trying to stay out, but may still see a few tankers further back. Of course, guys, we don't have enough fuel or just want to kind of reset things. And yeah, sure enough, Josh Conover going to come in. If you're that far back anyways, you're not really going to gain anything by staying out. You may as well come in, get some fuel, get some tires, and reset.
And on the topic of the YouTube chat, I see Zach Mertz. Don't worry, I'm keeping your seat warm. It's nice and ready for you.
Maybe we can get some trio races this season, get all of us on the call for some of these, but let's quickly. Super, we've got about 5 laps to go. We'll be inside of 5 to go here for the final restart, this next restart anyway. So let's get the other 2 nominations. You've got Zach Maddox. I've got Cole Lewis. And I'm going to stick with Cole. He's still driven a good race. Yeah, that caution, going to pull him back. And actually, maybe I won't stick with Cole. Cole, I want to stick with you. When you go back and listen to this, I'm sorry. But I've just realized if you're at fault for this caution, you're going to have a drive-through. And just to give everybody a more competitive answer to vote on here at the end, I'm going to change that up. So let's bring up the ticker again. Let's look at positions gained. And this throws a bunch of other guys into it now. Dustin Stallings, Johnny Wood Jr., Caden Perkins, Jordan White, Josh Parent, Gray Walker. Gray Walker has gained a bunch of spots, and he was actually another one that I was looking at initially. I'll tell you what, Super, I'll give you a shot to go for your final pick, and then I'll get two in.
Well, you know, I've actually, that number 4 of Coulter Clark, I've actually known him before this. I've gotten to know him. I don't know if he likes me too much, but I can confirm that he's really good at knowing when to make moves, from my experience. And he's good at being aggressive. He's gained 19 spots. Just from what I know about him, I'm willing to bet that he could walk away with a great finish here. I'm so surprised he's been able to do as much as he has, but he stayed out of it, which has been great. And again, I just would not be surprised if he comes away here with like a win.
I'm looking at lap sled now, and I'm going to go ahead and I am going to take one of the 6.5 cars, and that's going to be Scott Fritz back here in the 48. He's led a bunch of laps. You see 17 there to his credit now as Zach Maddox adds a couple more to his list. But Scott Fritz has just been a lot of fun to watch today, and as of late in this series, yeah, he's got some damage now in that right rear. I don't think that's going to hold him up at all. I really do think he is a very serious contender for the championship this season. He already was last season. So watch out for the 48 as this season goes on with a new team over there. He and Johnny Wood Jr., that could be a very scary combo as this season goes on. Looking down through the list just a bit more and looking at maybe some positions gained again. Oh, man, there's a lot of really good options.
Now, if I may, remember, Scott Fritz did take 2 tires on that restart. I know, right? It's probably worn down a little bit. The gap isn't as much as it was, but he still has 2 tires.
He's one to watch. I'm going to go out on a limb. Maybe. Maybe not. I'm thinking this is a live decision happening. I've got a lot of guys on mind. I'm going to go ahead and take Gray Walker. I know he won Best in Show today, but he has put himself here late in the running of this race to go for a win. Let's see what he can do in that Toyota. He's going to be one of 3 Toyotas nominated for Driver of the Day. That's okay. Into the restart zone. We'll turn this back over to the Maddox brothers. Here we go. 4 laps to go at Daytona International Speedway. The world center of racing roars back to life. 4 laps to go in the RevSimShop.com 250. Josh Parent sticking out wide off of turn number 2. He's going to put it 3 wide now. Watch that 22. He's going to bring Robert Moyer Jr. and Stephen Borbell. He's back in this. 3 wide to turn 3.
Yeah, Brendan Maddox on that inside. He didn't have the best start. I thought we might see those brothers try and link up, but it doesn't appear to be that way. But Brendan now going to take the lead. He is clear. Actually, he might not be anymore. Yeah, just not. That middle lane. Not looking the best.
3 laps to go. That time by the flag stand. Maddox down low. Parent up top. A bunch of different players in different spots. Here comes Zach Maddox in the middle. He's looking for his very first ever BRB victory.
But look at that outside. Here's a huge run from Parent.
Moyer.
He's going to take 16. They're going to hit the wall.
Moyer got the wall there off the bumper of the 2. They're now clear. The top two get clear. Moyer drops Attic to basement. Parrott goes to block it. Here comes Maddox behind. 2 laps to go when they get back to the stripe.
Take a look at that. We could see, if Coulter Clark wouldn't have budged his way in there, we could have saw the brothers link up. That could have been something interesting to watch. Side by side, 2 to go.
2 laps remaining. There they go, crashing behind. Ronnie Norman, William Maple Jr. No caution yet. Evan Patinko. How is there not a yellow? There it is.
Oh, what the?
And we
Who was
will.
that just came?
We will go into BRB overtime. That was Dakota Bly who got a piece of the back bumper of Evan Patinko. Teammates there. Let's take a look back at what happened with these Fords. Patinko on the 81, that yellow Ford Mustang. He seems to be the center of it. He gets checked up with Ronnie Norman. They just made contact in a hurry, and Norman got hooked into the outside wall. So Norman will not be keeping his win percentage perfect as the track is blocked right there, and there was still no caution for a while. Oh my gosh.
That takes guts to just say, okay, I'm going to drive through them.
Let's see this all play out again. It was a long time before the incident and the caution. iRacing didn't want to throw it. I think Rev was kind of waiting. iRacing, you going to do anything? No? Okay, then I'll do it. Here's Dakota Bly's move through there. See, Rafferty hits the apron and hits the pit lane even. Oh, that hole closed.
Oh my god.
And that's going to wreck the 88. He's got a lot of damage after that.
I mean, it probably would have worked if that gap didn't close, right? It was a bold move, but I kind of saw the opening.
Here's a look at it again. Norman got checked up as they had to check up in the middle of the racetrack, and Cody Smith gets a big hit out of that too. And I mean, these guys, this is all on iRacing. This is not on our admin, and it's not on iRacing, the company, but just the program. For some reason, didn't want to throw the yellow for a while there, and I think the admins might have stepped in anyways. That was a long time for that caution to come out, and glad it finally did. But now, are these guys good on fuel? It's the question. The top car that is good on fuel is actually Josh Conover in the 40. We know he's good. He pitted 5 laps ago out of the most recent yellow. What do you say we dial up driver 40 here? We know he's good. The rest of these guys, who knows?
I like that idea.
So we'll grab Josh Conover here with overtime now on the way as you guys complete the schedule distance, Josh. The guys ahead of you, they're all going to be saving. I know Cavan's in that group. Do you know how close they are?
I think Cavan said he has just under 8 laps, I think. So he's better than I guess expected.
These cautions certainly helping them. Are they helping you at all?
I took 4 freshies. I know tires don't normally matter, but I like having the grip to be able to make quick moves if needed. And I topped off with another gallon, so I'm better than these guys. So if we use all 3, I'm looking pretty good.
Of course, we know you're good to the end on fuel, even if we go extra laps like we are. But you know, it's been some rough going for a lot of you guys over in the Dark Star and Whiplash camp. I know Rusty, of course, had some issues on that pit stop. Brady got into him and then grenaded the engine. But you and Ben, you guys have kept the cars clean in the 40 and 41. What's your experience been like now points racing for the first time in this BRB Racing League?
Not too bad. I'm still trying to learn, names except for Brendan and Dustin, but a lot of quick guys, a lot of guys that seem to know what they're doing and at least talking about, so to speak. Granted, Daytona, we'll have to see, a mile and a half for short track and kind of gauge everything there, but no, so far so good, and we'll just take each lap, learn it as we go.
Speaking of other tracks and short tracks especially, we're heading to one next week that's kind of right in between a short track and an intermediate. It's also a home track to you. How do you feel about Dover?
Depends. I love it. Sometimes it loves me, sometimes it spits me out by lap 25, so I guess we'll just say love-hate relationship.
And the way things look for this restart, you're going to line up behind Dustin Stallings. You at least know his name. He goes and runs your league on Mondays, the Nora Retro Cup Series. But you've got Cavan below you, and Well, you're going to have Ben behind you. Otherwise, it's a lot of unfamiliarity in the front of the field here for you. What's your game plan here on this overtime restart?
Trying to get to the front and win one for you.
Fair enough. He's going to line up 8th. Josh Conover. Boy, he's got a shot here. A couple laps to go. Super. Maybe we're talking about the 40 here to the end. Best of luck, Josh.
Appreciate you.
We'll get him back up there with his teammates and such. And boy, this could be interesting right here at the end of this race. We've got Toyotas out ahead, and they have compelling storylines, but I don't know where they're at on fuel. So we'll let them continue to discuss their fuel situation. It sounds like they're good, at least for this overtime restart. But Super, we could have more. Now, I will say, here's the overtime structure. If you don't know, it's pretty much the same as NASCAR, right? 2 laps to extend the race, and caution laps as needed, but you will race for 2 more laps here, a green lap and a white lap. That green lap will start the race back up. If there's a caution during the green lap, well, we restart again. We have 3 attempts at a green-white checkered here, an overtime finish. If we complete the green lap at any point in time and get onto the white lap without a caution, the race is official. No matter what happens on that white lap, we are racing back to the checkers. Now, a big point we had talked about last week in the duels, you don't really have as much chance for an extra overtime as you think. It takes a full lap to get up to speed in these cars. You just aren't making big moves that first lap usually, and if you are, it's in that very short stretch from turn 4 to the start finish. There just is not much time in there, Super, to actually make a big move to cause a caution.
I mean, you know what they say, cautions breed cautions, but yeah, it's 1 lap, right? Can they hold it clean for 1 lap, right? I don't know.
And last week we saw I believe the shootout style race go to extra distance. It only went to the 1 overtime attempt. That may be the case again here tonight. Let's see what happens. Overtime number 1 for the BRB Sundance Pro Series at the World Center of Racing. The outside line gets the whole shot. Josh Parent right back to the point. Josh Parent dancing around at the front of the field. He's got affiliated teammates right behind him, 2 rows deep. Then it gets a little more murky for the 22.
Side by side on the back stretch. Oh, on that outside. I believe that's Conover.
Big crash.
Big move. Oh!
There goes the 16. We're going to another overtime. There's the caution. Big accident in turn number 3. Multiple cars on 2 wheels or less. They're still crashing.
Oh my. What was that? We saw 1 in the air almost. 16, I believe, was the one at the very beginning.
Watch this.
And we saw the 6.
I don't even know where this starts. Robert Moyer just came up. He wasn't clear. He had 2 cars in his outside and just self-cleared up. And oh my gosh, that's a mess.
The big one comes later.
White nearly went over. Perkins nearly went over. Moyer nearly went over. Patinko got into it late. Wow.
The way that White almost went over is just so funny to me. I don't know how to explain it. Just car decides it wants to get up in the air.
Shades of Kyle Busch back in, 2016, 2015? We had that a week ago, actually, in the duels. The car going over off the banking like that. And there you see the carnage unfolding. That's a really good view, actually. It's from our fan cam. Brendan Maddox will be happy with that. And then, ooh.
I would be glad to be one of those fans.
That's a really good view of a really unfortunate circumstance for many drivers. Here's Ben Kinney. He's kind of right in this. Watch the 16 come up into him here. Actually, you don't even see it. He's just there, and suddenly he's spinning.
How it goes sometimes.
Wow.
God, what a wreck. Yeah, you see Jordan just that little lick at the end, adding insult to injury.
Watch Moyer. He just moves up. Wasn't clear. 2 cars on his outside. Just, I don't know if he got lost or what was going on, but up on 2 wheels there for a moment. Nearly over. Maple, Quayle, Perkins over the back of the 16. Wow.
a scary incident. Glad everyone's okay, even if it is virtual.
Yeah, glad it's a sim in this case, because
Yeah.
anytime you have cars on top of other cars, that's scary. And we actually, if you follow the car story, you would have seen that at Wake County a couple weeks ago. Minnie Terrell, who's now in the truck series for Colleague and Ram, he was racing hard with Doug Barnes at the end, and really middle of the race actually. They made contact. Minnie went up into the left side, the driver's side, even the window net of Doug Barnes' car, and there's been a lot of fallout after that. But anytime you have cars on top of cars in any way, that's a scary situation. Thankfully, here, this is the sim. None of these guys are getting hurt out of this unless they have a direct drive wheel and the wheel snaps around and hurts their wrist, and that's certainly possible. There's another reason you never want intentional crashing here on the sim. That's just risking guys' wrists for no reason.
Yeah. We were talking about the Cars movie earlier. We could have seen, a couple cars on top of each other like in the movie.
Yeah, and that could certainly happen even at New Hampshire in a couple of weeks. So again, let's look at the schedule and talk about that. We're going to have a Cars-themed race with Cars paint schemes. Drivers will have a chance to pick who they want to represent. We can't all be Lightning McQueen, though. We will have a couple of Lightning McQueen versions out there, but we can't all be Lightning McQueen and Chick Hicks and such, so we will get some extra characters in the mix there. But New Hampshire in a couple of weeks, April 21st, we'll be doing that, and maybe we bring it back for Talladega and the Chase, who knows, but...
Please tell me you have a Doc Hudson's game.
We'll
That's
see.
Fabulous Hudson Hornet. I was talking about it earlier. When I went down to Daytona for that tour, I stopped by a Disney. I'm currently wearing a Fabulous Hudson Hornet shirt.
There you go. I'm pretty sure my son in the living room is still wearing his Lightning McQueen shirt.
Understandable.
Yeah. The things you find at TJ Maxx. Well, here we go. 2 laps to go. We will reset, try this overtime thing again. Again, these guys get 3 attempts at it, not 5. 3 attempts at it. This is now attempt number 2. We have 1 more in the bin that we can use if we need it. But if we get to that 3rd attempt, that's it. Whatever happens now, whatever happens at that point, the next flag will end it. Here, though, look at this. Zach Maddox has chosen the outside lane. I think that's a very heads-up move. The outside is better on these restarts for whatever reason. It gets the whole shot. And also, what we haven't even talked about yet, Super? These guys have a 2-hour time limit.
Oh.
We're getting close. I don't think we're going to hit it tonight, but we are closer than I thought they'd be.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the cautions we have had have been relatively big. Right? We've had to spend a few laps going under the pace car, and let me tell you, it feels like years behind that car.
It does, but, to your point, they have had a very clean race here today. Only 5 cautions out there. It'll be 14 laps here in a second, and, we've gone into extra laps. It's been a very clean race here today. I think we'll easily get this one in, still in that time limit, but it's a little closer than I thought. I think probably than even they would have thought they'd be tonight. They've been at the words. Anyways, here we go. 2 laps to go. Overtime restart on the way. Again, they've got to get it in. They've got to get back to the white flag without a caution if they want this attempt to count. If there's a caution again on the first lap of this restart, the green lap as we call it, we re-rack, we do it again, but we only get 1 more shot. So here we go. From the fan cam into the restart zone. Zach Maddox in control. Josh Parent underneath him. Teammates right behind. Oh, they're a little all over. But we're back green. How much fuel do they have? Can they go the distance? The field a little broken up. That might help these leaders. Never mind. Josh Parent sideways. There they go. Kevin Baumler and more. No caution yet. Wow. They're going to let him race it back.
Very lucky for at least these probably top 6 that there was not a caution.
Yeah, this top 6 I think has it in the bag. Maybe they're single file though, coming around to the line. White flag is in the air. This attempt is official. Zach Maddox leading onto the final lap of Daytona.
He's got Clark right behind him. I was talking about it earlier when I picked him for driver of the day. He's very aggressive. He's got a fellow Toyota behind, so probably more inclined to work with them. Although, it's Daytona final lap. All things are
Watch
out
the
of the
40.
window, but
The top 3, now top 4 are all aligned. They're all Toyotas. They're all kind of working together. It's going to go out the window here in 3 and 4. But Conover, that 40, he's on his own. What's he going to do? The run back around to win the first race of Season 6 in the BRB Racing League. Zach Maddox, I think, is finally going to do it. His brother trying to spoil it on the outside. Zach is going to block, but Zach Maddox is finally a winner in the BRB Racing League. He gets it done at Daytona International Speedway. Or does he?
Brother.
He's gone immediately.
brother right behind him. It's a 1-2 for them. Why do you leave?
He's gone. I don't know. He's still scored as the winner. With Brendan second and Josh third.
Might have fallen into the back rooms there. It's a little surprising. Is he?
Don't be alarmed. I'm going to flip this to B-roll for a second and check something. It doesn't list him as disconnected. He could be on the way out. I don't know what's just happened to Zach Maddox. He's still scored as the winner.
He's still in VC.
Did he maybe get so excited? Oh, he's back. He's back. He's back. And his car is destroyed. But he's going to burn it down. Who cares? Zach Maddox is finally a winner in the BRB Sundance Pro Series. Let's go grab him.
Probably stood up so fast he might have accidentally hit his router.
Something like that. He's back in the sim. I don't know what happened. But let's go get the live reaction from our Race 1 Daytona winner, Zach Maddox. You just won at Daytona.
What's up, guys?
Can you believe?
How are y'all?
Can you believe?
No. Nope. No, I cannot.
What the heck
God.
happened after the stripe?
I spiked out on my latency, popped in someone's bumper, so it busted the car.
You're finally a winner. The American Airlines 14 finally flew highly enough, and you've started Season 6 on top of the whole league. This has got to make it all worth it. The last handful of seasons, I know there's been some rougher spots, but this has to be one of the brightest, if not the brightest yet.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's super speedway. I got to get a more technical win, but yeah, it's a fantastic starting point to Season 6. One of my goals for this season was to finally get a win, and it's always a chance at super speedways, but damn, I got a great team around me that helped support me through that win. And Coulter, Brendan, Dustin, who else is up there? Oh, I don't have the names right there. I think Cam Taylor was up there too.
He finished 5th, yep.
All giving good call outs towards the finish. The wreck, whenever everyone spun, or I say everyone, broke up behind us and no caution. Everyone was like, go, 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 go. Oh my God, what a rush. And what about a Maddox 1-2 finish? Hello, guys?
Have we ever? I don't think we have.
I don't think we have. Don't think we have.
Shall we just bring Brendan in as well? The two brothers here?
Yeah, bring him up.
The two brothers in the interview booth. After it's all said and done at Daytona, Brendan, was that the plan?
No, to be honest, I had like 40 seconds of damage there, so I mean, it was totally the plan in my mind that I don't think I could even get up there to lead or win or anything. Once we got we're also saving fuel like crazy. If we had another restart, it was done for me. But yeah, once we got to the backstretch, I think Conover went high, or Dustin went high, I went low, and got on the back of Coulter, and then I backed up and got a run because I knew Josh was going to get a run, so I was trying to cover that off a little bit, for a team win. And I had a bigger run than I thought. And then Zach, of course, was watching it and threw a block. And man, I don't know that you could write it better than that. We're both fuel saving, and we come across with his first win, and then I'm following up in second place. I don't know that you could have written it better than that.
And I'll flip back over to you here for a second, Zach. Of course, you now have a team in this series. It feels like there's more and more of us doing that, right? I've got Whiplash in the league now for a handful of seasons. Obviously, you guys have Maverick, but now you're kind of spearheading this thing with Blackbird, and you have a bunch of your guys helping you there at the end, right? How cool was that to have them helping you get to the front to get this win?
Oh, it's freaking awesome. I mean, Cam getting 5th, Coulter getting 4th. I don't know where Gray finished. I know he got caught up in one of those green white checkered wrecks. It'd have been great if he was up there with us too, but no, it's awesome. It's awesome. You couldn't ask for a better first race. You couldn't ask for a better group of guys to be around. It's fantastic.
So now, I guess, really, do you have to have the debate? Who is the better brother? Who is the better Maddox?
I don't know. Did you see that block I threw?
You guys both now have a race win. Has that changed anything for you guys?
He's got Rockingham. I've still got some ground to make up.
Well, I don't think we've ever seen a Maddox 1-2. I mean, can you guys recall one where you finished reverse order? I don't think so.
Nope,
Not
this is gonna be
since
first.
2008 playing NASCAR.
Yeah,
on
NASCAR or whatever.
Almost 20 years in the making.
Hey, do I get half a win sticker because he's my twin? Is that how this works?
I don't think. Yeah, you have to hit Brad on that one. I think he's got the stickers. But,
Oh.
and speaking of, obviously Daytona, the season opener here. This will be to both of you guys. Not just the personal win, but like both of your guys' teams on top. Sure, we saw 6-5 dominate until about laps, 80, when things suddenly changed. And Zach, you were 4v1 there for a while. You still got to the front and kind of upset all of that. So to be able to kind of see them take the stage, take the middle of the race, and then still rally all the troops and get up there, and that's got to feel really satisfying as a whole team organization.
It does. Yeah, I recall last week. I said I had my eye on 6-5, and they had a really, really solid first green flag pit stop there after the stage, and we kind of got broken up, and I was the odd man out, outnumbered, outgunned, outmanned, just hanging on. I was like, guys, y'all gotta form up a line, get up here. If this stays like this for the rest, this is how the race is finishing. And it was close. It was close. After the second green flag stop, who was it? Jamie and Johnny, I believe, who I was with. We're sitting with a 3-car pack. Everyone else is all bunched up behind us, and I knew if I just stayed there with those two and me, I'm still outnumbered, outgunned, outmanned. I've got to try something. Brendan was in my ear going, side draft. I was like, yeah, I've got to time it.
I was
time
anxious.
it well enough, and they were able to catch up. And man, what a great race! What a great race!
Is it all worth it now?
Yes.
I think I already asked that, kind of. But, I mean, all of these races, these last 5 now into 6 seasons of kind of being compared, right? By default, whether people do it to you or not, I mean, it's just kind of going to happen, right? And you got that win now. I know you still want it on a track other than Daytona, but there's at least one in the column.
Man, how many people win at Daytona?
There you go.
Let's talk about that. It's not a Dega Super Speedway. I don't think he's got it. I don't think he's got a Daytona win. So,
Well, we'll move on to results in 3rd place. But guys, congratulations to you both. This is pretty cool.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
And that is the 2 Maddox brothers on top here at Daytona. Zach Maddox with the win. Brendan Maddox P2. That all kind of wraps things up and makes it worth it for them. And I've just realized, Super, going back to the pre-race show earlier, I was so focused on just trying to get it in the time allotted. We didn't even run the MX Wraps logo during that segment, but that was, of course, there we go. We'll run out of the broadcast still, so we hit our quota. Yes, MX Wraps presents the pre-race show here with the BRB Racing League. It was all just happening so fast earlier, but they do so much for this league. They really are a huge reason that we are here in Season 6 and able to keep doing what we do with this series and making these broadcasts what they are, making our coverage what they are. They're putting up their own bit of money off their own paint schemes with the fantasy deal now this season. So they do so much here for us, and it's cool to see them on top like this to start the season off. Let's go down through your race results, though, before we get Josh Conover. Zach Maddox, Brendan Maddox, and Josh Conover, your top three. Coulter Clark, a very close fourth place. Cameron Taylor there as well, fifth. Sam Dyer, a top 10. Cole Lewis, he still came on through, making me look dumb for abandoning him in the driver of the day vote. Dustin Stalling, Stephen Borgall, Kyle Klenk also all get a top 10. Great results for all these guys.
Yeah, just a whole bunch of results. Robert Christianberry in 11th, Jordan White in 12th. Great. Jordan actually was involved in that wreck to get us that second overtime. It's a miracle he's even in 12th. Ben Kinney, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Probably mispronouncing it.
Kinney.
Oh, I am. Kevin Balmer, Johnny Wood Jr., Scott Fritz, Ronnie Norman, Caden Perkins, William Maple Jr., and Jamie Plord rounds out your top 20. It's really a shame. That whole 6-5 racing team was doing so good. It sucks to see them down here. They had this race if a few cautions wouldn't have come out.
Yeah, they had a great race going there for quite some time. But back in 21st, Gray Walker, Josh Parent there. 21st, 22nd, Jacob Quayle, teammate to Josh Parent, right behind him. Richard Wolsifer, final car on the lead lap at the end of it. Adam Buzzio, Cody Dorsey, 1 lap down. Dakota Bly, 2 down. Robert Moyer Jr. out early, along with Evan Patinko, and Rusty Rafferty still gets the top 30. Not a great result, obviously. And then your final 5, Carl Pooler, Cody Smith, Brady Motes, Dan Stockaro, and Eric Jensen with the engine expiration early. We've got one more driver to talk to. That is Josh Conover. We'll bring him in from what we talked to him earlier. And it's very cool to see that he's still able to put those top 3 together. He is deafened. Super, I'll tell you what, just keep an eye out for him in there. See if he undeafens. If he does, we'll talk to him. I know he said he had some situations going on, but to kind of wrap this up and look forward now, Super, next race for these guys, obviously Dover, completely different.
We were talking about it pretty much the whole race, right? We're going from huge Daytona to really not that big Dover. It is, right? You were also talking about it, self-clearing track. Cars going to be moving down when they wreck, and it's just you are just going from one completely different track, like one just track of its own to another track of its own. I don't even know how to think about that.
Well, here is Josh Conover. He's headed your way. I talked to the Maddox brothers. Here's your interview with Josh Conover then.
Hey, Josh, you did great. What were you, 8th that restart, and you managed to make your way up to 3rd at the end of it?
Yeah, I think we were P7, I believe.
7. Close enough. So, what were you thinking on that restart? And can you just take me through what you were thinking to manage to get your way up to that P3?
I wanted to try and get Kevin. He was my really only teammate up here, and didn't work out that way. So I know Brendan just from Monday nights, he runs with us, and I was committed to helping him. And I think we didn't get hooked up till maybe off of 2, maybe on the last lap or something like that. And I tried pushing him to the win, but Zach unfortunately has well, from what I heard Zach saying, I guess he's not even or one up on him yet, but I try to keep him Brendan up top.
Well, I'm very impressed with your run to make up those spots. I'm sure everyone that's watching also probably is super impressed with you. You just did a great job today, and I really hope I can see you continue this momentum.
I appreciate it. I mean, that's always a goal to not make enemies, but no, yeah, I kind of second guessed myself that last run just because I didn't want to kill anybody else that has obviously been here, and just wanted to help whoever wanted it to get them a better finish, and obviously help myself too, and it worked out. Just like I said, wish Kevin would have been up there to kind of help me too. Maybe we would have had a better shot at a win, but can't complain with third. Always talking to the broadcast makes it worth it.
All right, and again, good luck in the future. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate you guys.
Josh Conover with a big night here at Daytona when it's all said and done. And it was rough to get going there at a couple moments, but it all wraps up together with a top 3 for Josh in his first start here in the series. That will do it for us this evening from Daytona International Speedway. I will say we can award that Driver of the Day honor, of course, to, well, none other than Zach Maddox. He is today's North American Racing League Driver of the Day. Oh, so fitting in his very first BRB race win. From here, of course, these guys head out, as we'll quickly show you, to Dover in a week's time. But in between now and then, we have North American Racing League GT3 action for the pros at Suzuka in Japan. And then we take the retro cars back out, the retro cup cars, the 03 cup cars back out for the 05 season in the NORA Retro Cup Series at Darlington. Thanks so much for tuning in this evening. It's gone into some extra time here, but a big thank you to our partners, Sundance Pizza, MXWraps.com, Performance Food Group, RevSimShop.com, Whiplash SimCams, and CC's Business, as well as our partners here at the channel, Whiplash SimCams, MXWraps.com, ATVO, Murder Esports, CC's Business, the North American Racing League, and Whiplash Creative. That is all from Daytona International Speedway, the World Center of Racing today. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Dover coming up next for the BRB Sundance Pro Series. Otherwise, we'll see you at Suzuka on Thursday.